practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
We want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sensimilla.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick.
And we got our co-host in the house, our guest co-host for the week,
Kyle Allon.
There he is from
ExotixTech. Let's go.
Welcome to the show. So we're going to be rotating our guest hosts. We're going to have next week. We're having Tim McCormick coming in from Culture Biologics. This week we have Kyle, and Kyle's going to be coming in regularly. He's going to be like our resident crypto expert. So if you're into crypto or you're into NFTs or any of these things, guys will be explaining. He is the guy. So we're going to be evolving. There's going to be a lot going on in the next few months. So,
absolutely, yeah. Anything Web3.
That's
sure.
right.
If you fancy yourself a breeder and you haven't found a home for distribution or sales, you might want to send an email to DunnDeal at adamdunnshow.com, and we'll send you some info on NFTs because it is. I'll let Kyle explain it, but it's not only the future of seed sales and distribution, it's the future of everything sales and distribution.
Absolutely. Decentralization. It's the key.
So we'll get into that, and then we also got Gallo was supposed to show up, but they went to Meow Wolf last night, so that was enough to knock him back. And he's got a huge performance tonight. He's going to be doing live performance, but he rocked out he did a really great mural in the spot next door at soHI Cafe. But we have right now Chaz is over there putting down a TLP on the wall, so it's going to be
a TLP.
A TLP of the London Police.
Cool.
Yeah, London Police. Go to Instagram, London Police. Check out the work. Amazing stuff. Friends are from Amsterdam, so it's always nice to have our buddies in town. He's going to come in a little while once he's done with his piece. And we've also got Garrett from Pegasus Bags calling in later. I'm not sure what we're calling in, but he was supposed to be here, wasn't he, like last week?
He really wants to make sure everybody understands what Pegasus Bags is all about, what he's got going on, the plastic-eating fungi.
That's what I'm super stoked about. That's the cool shit.
And
super cool.
He wants to be on especially when we do his spot on the show.
Well, there you go.
Just the resident expert.
Always good. And, of course, we've got in the wings just hanging out, Mr. Dr. Mark Scialdone.
Oh, my goodness.
The brain.
Yeah,
Dr. Mark.
Don't not say doctor.
I know, I said doctor really. Please emphasize the word doctor. Look at me sitting in front of all of his accolades.
The question is coming in right now. I mean, I made the joke earlier, Mark, but I'm seeing right here, it looks like Uncut Bush wants to know what color of dye that is for your hair.
Oh, they're already talking.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like 9 out of 10, I think. But it's a good blend. It's a good blend from beard right up. It blends.
Matches
right
really
in.
good. Matches really good. It's got a great blend.
So we have Dr. Mark here because the first thing Adam did was he walked in the studio. It's like, dude, did you hear? I'm like, oh fuck, what happened? He's like, yeah, like they're shutting Washington State down. Yeah, totally contaminated. And I'm like, what? And sure as shit, DDT contamination, literally from back in the 50s
and 60s. So
crazy.
It's like thousands of pounds.
Hundreds of thousands
of pounds. So Oklahoma, New York, Kansas, get ready to be flooded with radioactive or DDT
radioactive weed coming your way.
That's going to be destroyed in Washington.
Well, the crazy part is that they're even like talking about, well, we could probably remediate it. You're like,
no way.
Let's let Mark know that because he just cringed when you said that. I mean, first off, maybe you can explain to us what is DDT, and for those who don't know, I know it destroyed eagle eggs, but tell us.
Yeah, I mean, it gained a lot of fame in the 40s and the 50s, and there was a book called Silent Spring that talked about DDT and its widespread use before they really understood its impact in the environment. It's a super hydrophobic molecule, and it's not water soluble at all, so it sticks to just about any surface and stays there for a long time if it's not. It does undergo photolytic degradation, and after a while, it will degrade in the environment. But apparently, like where they've used it so much, there's just so much residue left in the soil, and it breaks down into two different other products that are just as nasty: DDE and DDD. So these are all sort of in the same family of
forever. They're all like forever.
They just didn't understand the safety and the environmental impact before they started broadcasting this stuff all over fields and just getting into the environment everywhere.
Are they considered forever chemicals? Is that kind of like the category for them, or?
They're not particularly forever chemicals. I mean, the forever chemicals are the PFAS and the PFOS. So those are the perfluorinated ones that nature hasn't figured out a way to break them down. Nature will break these down, but I guess they get into the environment because they'll get into small creatures who are eaten by other creatures. Sure. And then it's kind of like stored in the fat of those creatures, and then those creatures die, and so that it's passed along like that. But I think DDT is a particularly nasty one because they just sprayed it everywhere.
Well, they sprayed kids. Didn't they spray didn't they spray people at schools and stuff? Didn't they like literally line you up at school and just blast you with it and stuff?
I don't think it was.
I've seen videos. I've said, oh man, that's like, they're just like, this stuff is great.
Yeah, I know they sprayed it on beaches for mosquitoes, but I don't know when they stopped that.
Yeah, there's more effective compounds that they have now that aren't environmentally persistent like that. They use this other thing called chlordane, which is similar type of insecticide.
Sounds horrible.
In and around the foundations of buildings to control all kinds of insects and termites and whatnot. And the stuff just does not go away. It's kind of like a forever molecule. And when they found out that, oh my God, these contaminations are like from applications done 40 years ago, they're like, well, we better ban that one, right? So, I mean, they were practicing just the way doctors practice medicine. They were practicing this insecticide, pesticide treatment to increase yields. And it was used quite a bit to control insect-borne disease like malaria and stuff like that. But it's a shame that exactly what you guys were saying, which is that all of that cannabis, which is contaminated, they'll figure out how to remediate it in a way that either just making distillate out of it or using something similar to CRC to just chromatograph out. There's pretty good methods to use where that contamination could be basically removed. Now, it sucks.
Maybe before you go into
here's some video that's basically titled DDT sprayed on children. So I figure there you go. That was pretty straightforward. Hey kids, look at this.
How did you find that?
Hey, look at this. Hey kids, have some lunch. Yeah, we're gonna get, as you're eating your sandwich, we're gonna spray you with some DDT. It's like,
while you're in the swimming pool.
Nice. Hey kids, have fun. Yeah, this is what I've seen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right? No fucking around.
No.
How did
well, they were really worried about malaria, and they were really worried about insect-borne disease and like
lead arsenic.
Yeah.
Again, this was the era of, better things for better.
When DDT living was cool.
Yeah.
Mark, let's back up for a sec. So what happens if before it gets to remediation, what happens if somebody smokes it? Is there, I mean,
it's not good. No, you don't want to have this as a contaminant, even in extremely low levels, because these things are chlorinated organic molecules. And these chlorinated organic molecules, especially ones like these, oxidize to form dioxins. And dioxins are some of the most toxic substances known to man. There's, very famous in upstate New York here along the Mohawk River where General Electric used to be. They dumped a lot of these PCBs, which are perchlorinated biphenyls, and they didn't realize that in the environment they were going to form these molecules that were 10 times more toxic than what they were dumping in the river. and then when they go to dredge these rivers, it just sends a plume of the stuff all down the river. And because they connected the Mohawk and the Hudson River, it led to contamination all the way down to New York City, and it's just this environmentally persistent crap that they used back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s when we were just worried about, beating the Nazis and,
So-
trying
so
the
somebody-
best we can to
So,
control.
but inherently dioxides aren't. That doesn't mean bad, right? Because there's chlorine dioxide that they use.
Well,
enough
I
of
would
these.
be worried. So if there's contamination of this material, like at nail temperatures, if it's concentrated, could you be making dioxins on the nail, or could there be some kind of like unwanted? You don't want these kinds of residues in your dabs. You
Well, especially
definitely-
Yikes.
No, boy. And I would think that even like most of the labs that are doing pesticides testing, these things would be flagged. So, I mean, I don't think that you'd ever get a product through the current testing protocols that are in place right now.
That's kind of not what
Who
I'm
knows
worried
what
about.
happens on the black market or on the
Right.
legacy market, right?
Yeah.
So, but let's go back to, so now somebody smokes contaminated product, whether it be concentrate or flour. What are going to be the symptoms that one should look for after this? Because that's really what I'd be looking for, is like in Kansas in 2 months, is everybody really coming down with the shakes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad.
God only knows, Dave. I mean, first of all, dioxins are extremely cancer causing. So very trace amounts of those can basically lead to cancer. So you don't want to be exposed to them. You don't want to be around them at all. But like if you look at like the LD50 of DDT itself, I think it's like about like 120 in rats. Just to calibrate it, the LD50 for aspirin is 200. Okay.
Why don't you tell everybody who doesn't know what the LD
lethal dose. Lethal.
LD50 is a lethal dose of half of the animals that they administer this thing to.
Half die. Half. Not like 1 or 2. Half. You only got to understand that people hear that and they go, well, I mean, no, half of everything died.
Yeah, all the other ones got extremely sick, but they stayed alive.
At least until they were done counting. And then who knows what happens if they happen in the last hour or 2.
But Dave, it's an important thing to calibrate it. So again, so like I said, the pesticide itself is about like 120. Aspirin's about 200. I think THC is like 9,000 or 1900 or something like that.
Wow.
So THC is like way up here. Those things, and nicotine is like
Super low.
like 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Nicotine's really low.
Crazy.
So I mean, yeah. So you have to
The good
when you
legal
look at the
stuff. Alcohol's
toxicity,
probably pretty low too.
Now, dioxins are super low, so they're taking something that's basically degrading and potentially forming something that's really toxic and really bad.
Yikes.
Well, the scary part is that the guy who told me, who's up there processing, thousands and thousands of pounds a day, basically said there's nobody can test for it. The only people who can test for it is the government. So you pretty much can't send it to a lab. You have to have them test it. Like apparently they couldn't get the DDT tests, or at least in Washington
Is
State.
it just not in their threshold of what they test?
Just
or-
they don't.
Why don't we ask the
Wait
real
a second,
fucking
it's not one of
question
the
here?
pesticides that they're testing for in Oregon? Is that what you're saying, Adam?
Well, he said that they only tested it from the only people who could test it was the government. So like right now, he said there's no testing labs that can test for it right now. Either only lab that can is the Department of Ag lab. He said super interesting, doesn't boil off until 280, so it might not come off in our process, and the state is considering letting us remediate it.
Wait, isn't the real question
Which
we
is
should
crazy.
be asking,
Doesn't
how
boil
long
off.
has this been
Oh,
happening? They just discovered it now.
Yeah.
But Washington has had a legal law since 2013.
Oh, yeah, no,
They've been
Yeah.
growing
Oh.
down there, harvesting. They didn't they didn't spray DDT.
No.
That video that Adam just had Mark played wasn't from last year.
No.
I mean,
Well, that's super alarming. So what you're saying is that they've been producing cannabis
Oh yeah.
from this area for human consumption for a long time, and not knowing that it could be DDT contaminated.
Well, right now there's a recall. There's a recall of 18 farms, and they're all in the Okanogan Valley, and so probably 100.
It's a lot of product.
Mark, look
50
up
to
when
100,000 pounds right now being
did-
recalled
when
at this
did the-
moment. So that means, when you recall something that's been growing in the same place for years, didn't just happen, right? So that's even. Plus, since it's a phytoremediating kind of plant, you can imagine if they've been growing it there, it's been pulling it in every single cycle, right?
Totally.
It's
So-
not like it's, so that's the scary part.
Do we know what remediation looks like as far as? I mean, I know Mark mentioned CRC and distillate and things like that. I mean, does the
I don't think you could do it, right? It's physically, I don't see how it could be possible.
I think you can do it. I think as long as you have an HPLC in your lab and you can test for whether or not your method is working to clean it out. There are lots of ways to basically.
How slow is that?
Mark, doctor.
How slow is that process? Oh my God.
Several 100,000 pounds of this.
I know.
What's the throughput on any type of remedy? They're going to cut corners. It's going to go out the back door.
Right. That's
when the world was
broke back door.
Remember,
and to be turned into Delta 8, right?
Wait, remember what they called it when the world was broken? It was contact tracing.
Yeah,
right. You had to go backwards to find out who you were. Like when Mark brought the plague, we all everyone went that way. So
he has 11 jobs. Give him a break. So he probably picked it up at one of those jobs.
Just for point of context. So. Are they going to go back in time? I mean, is anybody from the state or the government talking about how, you know what? We just caught it now. I mean, we could ask Stone Guy on the right what he thinks.
Right.
But I don't know if he's considered an expert in DDT. And
he looks like he's
agricultural producing areas. What about other non-cannabis crops that are produced there? I mean, do they also?
That's just
it's right next to an apple orchard.
No, there's lots of apples. There's a lot of things growing in that area.
Is DDT okay to use on apples still? I don't think I think they've banned it, right? I don't think they use it.
Mark,
DDT's banned.
I think it's probably in every third world country being used rapidly, in massive amounts. But I don't think.
I'm pretty sure it's like a global ban on DDT.
Usually we just kind of push it down, like you guys can use that.
You can use it in Guatemala, just not in Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, is it similar to where, like PGRs, for example, they're used on ornamental flowers and vegetables, and when you eat them, it's much different than combusting them and smoking them, right? Is DDT the same in your book, or?
Can you turn it down?
Well, I mean, I would think anything that's applied to the plant, or anything that the plant, like Adam was saying, sequesters from the soil is just a shooting match. That material is not supposed to be in the plant, and whether it's applied or whether the plant draws it in itself, it's just not a good thing. I would think the thing with PGRs is you're kind of stimulating the plant's own growth mechanism to grow, right? So it's not necessarily a chemical contaminant like a pesticide would be, right?
Totally.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, it's systemic, essentially.
I'm pretty sure this is how the Last of Us began, right? This is a zombie thing, right?
Oh, yeah,
Cannabis is going to
start.
lead to DDT contamination, and then their brains are going to get contaminated by that mutant mushroom, and then that's it.
Cordyceps will take over. And
Cordyceps.
Oh, the cordyceps.
Everyone's a cordyceps.
Yeah.
Well, DDT is a forever chemical. I heard that DDT is a forever chemical. So 4 generations
it
later,
stick around for a long time.
if you look at a place like Vietnam,
the makers when they first put it out, they showed
they knew what it did. They put it out anyway.
Yeah.
If you look at Vietnam, they got birth defects here 50 years later after a war. 50 years later, they got mass, widespread birth defects from this DDT.
Right.
Agent Orange was pretty much DDT, right?
Yeah.
Same.
Well,
Or
it was
similar.
orange.
Again,
Similar time.
it all depends on the environmental conditions and whether or not there's runoff and whether or not there's exchange of the water and the soil. It sounds like in this particular area, again, this is extremely hydrophobic molecule, so it's not very water soluble, so it's going to cling to something. So
Yes.
obviously it found some organic matter to cling to, and there it's stayed for the last 30 or 50 years.
Yeah, and it spreads, and it literally spreads so far too, because it's
Well, it gets
able to
into the
travel.
food chain. So once the small insects eat it, and then the bigger insects eat it, and then the toads and tadpoles eat it, and then the birds eat it. I think they actually traced some bird issues around the original DDT, usage in the 50s.
I think you were saying eagles, right, Dave?
Yeah, to some,
Yeah.
actually, it was causing the shell of the eggs to be very, very thin. So they were getting thin eggshell syndrome from DDT somehow, which was not good for the birds. Yeah.
Is there anything they can do to get it out of the soil?
I don't know, because I think that right now, I mean, it's unclear exactly what the level of for me, just reading the stuff that I've read on the web since Dave told me about the issue. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of information available around, point sources or whether or not it was concentrated in one certain area. I mean, these things, again, can be very localized. So you can test one plot, go across the hill to the other plot and not have any contamination whatsoever. So, I mean, I think there could be, again, areas where they just totally randomly broadcasted this stuff onto the soil, and it's maintained its chemical stability over the years. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure. And
What's most unfortunate is they're not fucking testing for it. I mean, how could they, now that they know that this is an issue, Oregon should issue something where, hey, we should be testing for this because we found this level of contamination.
it's surprising because Oregon has such a they had kind of one of the highest
The highest, right? Oregon tilth is even more stringent than an organic label.
Wasn't this in Washington too?
But this is Washington right now.
same.
But I'm saying that you figure that like that whole area
Yeah,
would be
of course.
on point with that.
Well, Oregon was one of the test grounds, like those people getting sprayed with the DDT. So they unleashed a lot of DDT up there in Oregon, and those company people came down and intimidated some people and harassed them for years when they spoke out against it. Some hippies said DDT's no good, and then they got squashed by the man from the factory.
This is fact, obviously. You can tell.
If you can, there was a good documentary this month on PBS on it. So all you got to do is Google PBS DDT documentary, and you'll find out what I'm talking about in Oregon.
What if they Google Stone Guy on the right?
Yeah, what will happen?
Well, they might find themselves in some good company out there. They can go online and say something sticky icky.
It's taken so long for them to find it, right? I mean, based on what you're saying, the prevalence of it, why is it taking this long for them to actually point that this was an issue?
It's embarrassing for the government because the pesticide lobby pushed this on people. That not only part of a war machine where you were getting sold barrels of oil and DDT and weapons, but this DDT also got pushed on the public as part of a lobby.
There you go. More fact spitting by Stone Guy on the right.
Hey, it's in the PBS documentary.
It's all in the doc. It's all in the doc.
Check the doc out.
Check the
PBS.
doc.
I speak the truth,
Yes,
brother.
don't lie. That's good.
I suppose to the question of why didn't they know sooner? If what Adam is saying is spot on, that you need a government lab to test for it, then they don't even want to test for contaminants in medical cannabis. Do you think they're actually looking for DDT? The only reason they knew that the area, what is it, south of San Francisco,
Area
was
51?
unsuitable. No,
that-
that place too. But there's a whole basin south of San Francisco that had the whole cut flower industry in it for 50 years.
Right.
So
Yep.
the Eagle 20 contamination down there that's it. It's forever. They can't, if any of your outdoor crop touches the ground, it will fail. So they literally cover.
Eagle 20 breaks down in the environment, though. Eagle 20 is not persistent like this one, like DDT.
I'm just saying, right. To my point, though, they knew that Eagle 20 was there, and they made every grower put this like plastic over hundreds of acres on the ground so that it couldn't, affect the plant. You don't think they knew that DDT was in concentration in Washington?
Well, especially because it'd be documented. I mean, they sprayed it all back in the day, so shouldn't
Here's
have
the fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is that there is not anything that is been approved for the application to cannabis to produce it, like a fungicide, insecticide, herbicides, this whole group of agrochemicals, which are produced for food crops like corn and soybean, like that. So the companies who want to sell those products, who want to sell those chemicals, have to do exhaustive studies on the safety and the effectiveness of those things, and also on the environmental impact that they're going to have once they're sprayed. And what's happened is, since the years that DDT has been discovered, there's been new families of insecticides that are much, much more active at much lower use rates. So rather than needing to spray a field with a kilogram of stuff, they could just use like a gram of stuff. That's how effective some of these things are. But you see, the issue, the fundamental issue is that nothing is approved for cannabis, right? And so there are no studies that say that you can use compound XYZ, whether it's Eagle 20 or DDT or whatever. You can't use anything because there's no studies saying that you can use these chemicals effectively to control plant disease, insects, predators, molds, whatever. There's no studies that have been done.
And it's funny
now,
because
there are some companies that are thinking about doing it, but the crux of the matter is that cannabis is Schedule 1, right?
Right.
So the EPA is not going to. So the Environmental Protection Agency are the people who hand out registrations for pesticides and insecticides. So the company that wants to sell that product needs to go to them and say, look, we want to sell this product because this is safe, and here's the data that shows that. So,
well, what's funny is they should have. In
order for them to be able to show that, they would have to apply that to cannabis.
Yeah.
Have people smoke or use the cannabis to make concentrates or whatever, and
so.
show that it's safe.
Yeah.
So until that's done, none of this should be used in cannabis, period.
Well,
Because
people
there's
in
no
Oregon,
safety.
they use that Eagle 20 to stop mold, whether they're growing indoor or
Right.
outdoor, and the Eagle 20 will stop their
Right.
mold, but it makes a bad product.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, but wait,
Nothing
big
if
time.
you're growing
Mark,
strawberries or
hold on,
cucumbers,
Mark.
but-
We know where the people are for your study. They're in Washington. They've been smoking it for the past few
They
years.
drink that Eagle 20 up there.
Well, the thing is, if it was if the things were done properly, the tobacco industry would have all this information for us, but they don't test anything because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
so
man,
they don't
it's
have
not
any
regulatory.
information. Like in a real situation, you'd be like, "Hey, actually, tobacco. What do you have?" For? And they'd be
Very
like, "Well, we have
legal.
all this great
Their
data."
plant is toxic, Adam.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
They're just
Does-
like,
does the
we don't need
pesticide
to.
kill people quicker when they smoke tobacco?
Well, considering that you can use tobacco as a pesticide on your cannabis plant and it will kill other insects,
You
you're
can
like,
use it to kill yourself.
So you're like,
you
yeah,
can just
yeah.
soak a pack in water overnight and drink it the following day. You're
hey,
dead.
there you go. Tips
Right, that's
tips
a
by
good-
Dave.
So I got a question for the doc here. What's the possibility that these folks were using DDT, or is it just happened to be in the soil still?
No, I think they
No,
used it
residual.
in
No.
agricultural production, widespread.
So we can
And
rule
in
that out.
widespread
It's there in the soil.
Yeah, it just has a
It's
shelf
there
life
in
of
the soil.
forever.
Yeah. I would think that this should lead to them wanting to find out exactly how localized or widespread the contamination is. There's going to be, probably, I would imagine, this is just what I'm thinking, is that at a farm where they do the pesticide filling, the tanks and all that, that whole area is going to be super contaminated because there's been spilling there and there's just shit everywhere. Then wherever they've applied it, you have to look at like the hydrology and where the water runoff is going to take, the runoff from that field. I would think too, the other thing that you have to always pay attention to is that any critters or any birds or any insects or anything like that, they're all going to be contaminated now. So that's going to even spread the problem even worse. So, yeah. I don't
So you
know.
mean
I
all
don't
the
know
little
how
animals that
everyone-
Odie's been shooting when he goes hunting, they're all DDT contaminated? That explains it? I get it now. All right, I get it.
Where was this exactly? Where was the farm?
Okanagan.
There you go.
So
He
where
knew.
is that in the state?
I think
relative
that's up
to-
by Canada.
Okay.
This is all coming from the top
Yeah,
source.
our
We have
top soil
our
experts.
top soil expert slash
On the right.
geologist on the right. Yeah.
Right. And did they say, I mean, I didn't see this in the articles that I read. Did they say what the level of contamination was? This is an important
fuckload.
thing.
No,
Hold on.
I don't know.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds, right?
No, well, I'm going from my guy's info first, then we went to article, but I just sent article to you. I didn't even go through it.
Yeah.
So this is one of the issues, is that now there's sophisticated instruments that could read down to the sub-part per billion level in soil. And I always liken it to taking a lint brush to a New York City sidewalk. You're going to find everything. You're going to find everything in that soil. You're going to find all kinds of shit in there. So the question is that what level are they finding contamination? Sometimes the levels of contamination.
Dave's on it. Look, Dave's on it.
No, won't let me read the article
He's
now.
not, no, they won't. He's not allowed. He didn't pay. You got to pay. It's
You gotta
paywall.
pay.
He hit paywall. He hit a paywall. We don't know nothing.
And my tricks
content.
didn't work either, so.
Yeah, you tried to work around it.
What kind of journalism is this, Adam?
Right. Well, Stone Guy on the right's in charge, so it's pretty much it's gone downhill. It's literally gone downhill quick.
Well, I won't be here long, but I got a couple things we should talk about while I'm here.
Here we go.
All right.
Go for it.
Well, I don't really pull punches, and Doc, you might want to interact on this here. So, what if in the future you had to spend a whole year without electricity? And that whole year you had no electricity. Whoa.
Yeah, that's what would happen.
Right? And that whole year you didn't have access to food either because the supply chain broke down. And in the midst of it, there's another plague. Another plague, folks. Right, so you got a threefold
is this
problem
from
here.
Mars? Is this thing coming from Mars? That's all I need to know quickly.
Well, I'm just
This is
telling
a
you
chemistry
folks out there
question.
so you can get ready for it, because the supply chain is going to break down in the event of an electricity outage, and this plague is going to decimate the population in mass. So
We're
you
just
can
going
get
to
ready.
Adam's farm. He's
Well, I
got
do
like
have
a
a
cow
doctorate
or
in
two.
philosophy. I'm a chemist. Ask me a chemistry question that I could actually answer, and we can have a discussion.
Well, even you, Doc, you want to get ready for this thing, man. You want to get a year's worth of food for your people, dog food, a half ounce, rolling papers, everything you're
Half
going
an
to need.
ounce for
a
how
year.
long?
A
You
year?
1 year,
And
man. You're
an
gonna need that.
afternoon.
Oh my God, half ounce. That would be rough. Half ounce of seeds, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this so you can prepare right now. And for $30 per person a month, you can get ready.
Oh no, it's just hard sell. Is this a telcel?
No, I'm just telling you to get ready for it, man.
Okay. Well, I'm
That's
ready.
why I came here
Religion
today.
is this.
You came to warn us.
Yes, I did. I came here to warn you about the plague and the year without food and the electricity.
Oh, okay. Well, this is documented now, so we know.
We have it.
We have it here.
You
on
heard it here,
file.
folks.
You heard it
Well-
here first.
Dr. Mark, thank you for taking time to come. Dr. Mark, not with a K.
No, this is the other guy. This
you
is
for
with the hair.
finding time.
Dr. Mark with the hair.
Yeah, really, there was another question. Is it a wig?
Oh, it's real deal. Look at it. Come
Okay.
on.
I've seen
Real
those.
hair.
You can pull them. Can you jump in a pool for us, like Morty? No?
Does it really
Okay.
look like a wig?
No, it looks great. It
looks
looks great.
great.
We are
Dave,
brothers in bad hair today, so don't
Yeah.
worry about it. It's all good.
I-
Well,
I
Dr.
got
Mark,
a
as a
gig.
scientist, could you live a year with food in your house right now? Honestly, could you make it a year without going to the store?
Look at him. He couldn't make it till Tuesday.
Would that half ounce last you?
No, I'm going to answer for him. No.
The answer is no.
No,
I would
no.
need to go
No
to the
way.
store.
Yeah.
We'd be eating him. What are you talking
He's
about?
like looking at the dog. He'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, that's another week right there. Got a week with the dog. Got a weekend out of that one.
That's the problem. They would eat all the smart people first because, like,
Yeah, because they don't know how to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Obviously, Stone Guy on the right's been doing a lot of
Yeah.
duck hunting lately,
Duck
so
hunting.
he's got his shit down. Dr. Mark,
Thank you.
always
That
fun.
wasn't a chemistry question.
Yeah.
Oh well, don't worry. Whenever we have one, you're
Bowl
our
of souls.
you're our first call at all times.
Yeah, I mean, you guys talk about DMT and all kinds of stuff like that.
I know.
all the
We
time.
skipped it. We went to DDT this time. We were like,
What do you want to tell us? Is there some chemistry thing?
Oh, you
wanna
want some DMT? You want to tell us some
Give
DMT?
us the formula
give
for
us
MDMA.
something cool. Yeah.
Secret recipe.
If you got something you want to, if you want to give
So
us.
for DDT, you call me, but for DMT, you call the other doctor.
No, no, we would call you too. Of course, you'll enlighten us. for
When
sure.
when have we haven't really had a DMT at all?
No, we haven't had a DMT
No.
show in a while. Let's do it. have one.
What the fuck?
There'll be some in Vinny's chocolates before we know it. Anyway, thank you.
We'll talk soon.
You're
though.
welcome.
Talk soon.
Thanks, Dr. Mark.
Appreciate you
As
coming
always.
on.
Thanks,
real
Dr.
quick.
Mark.
Peace
Take
out.
care, guys.
All right,
Peace.
man.
Bye, everybody.
Nice one. Always good when you got depressing. You want to find out the most depressing version of any chemical. He's the guy.
Get Dr. Mark on the line. Yep.
Now it's time.
What's that?
NF Seeds.
NF Seeds,
Tell
baby.
us about
I see some people in the chat. They're watching.
Yeah, shout out to the Exotix community.
Seeds. Well, see, then you're going to have to really get into the differentiation. Explain NF Seeds, then you can explain the difference between NF Seeds and the exotic community, and then how they're relevant together.
Totally, yeah. So we just launched the world's first completely decentralized and Web3 seed bank. It's called NF Seeds. It's www.nfseeds.io.
Can I show the site?
Yeah,
here?
absolutely. Show it, for sure.
Wait, you sure, Mark?
Oh, he needs to. Come on, Mark.
Just make sure you don't
Hey
have your
man,
background.
I'm just making sure, dude.
Just making shit happen over here.
Look at that.
Cleaned up. Looks really good.
Yeah, so this is 100% decentralized. It's all ran on the blockchain. We've been able to cut out all payment processors, all banks, all credit cards, just by using our own smart contracts that we've written. So just a little brief explanation on that. I started a company called ExotixTechnology about 1.5 years ago. And what we do is we develop solutions within Web3, specifically blockchain solutions. And this is our first marketplace that we've come out with. And the response has been phenomenal so far. And after this marketplace, we're getting ready to launch our glass marketplace, which will be 100% decentralized as well. And I can talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, as far as what the benefits are for artists and that kind of stuff. But to get back to NF Seeds, the key here is that we're solving a lot of different problems for breeders. Specifically the fact that they can't be blacklisted or shut down by either Visa or Shopify or whoever at any moment.
Like we've seen many times, and so many people get going right when because also it's like you're always a victim of your own success, right? The minute you start popping numbers, they're like, hey, what's going on over here? Oh shit, we got it. And it's usually the biggest problem with all of those merchant accounts is people want to play the game of getting their money back, and they fucking fuck it up for everybody because they're like, I didn't get my shit, I want this, and then they want to call back on the thing, and all of a sudden they're like getting and then that's it.
Or credit card chargebacks. I mean, that's a huge problem right now with seed banks, where you have low life people that go and order seeds and then call their credit card company and say it's fraud,
right?
Which also causes the seed bank issues, because as a business and they have a payment processor, they're flagged with the payment processor as well. So we solve all those issues with NF Seeds, and we're currently onboarding breeders. So if you're a breeder and you want to sell your seeds completely decentralized and be paid automatically on every sale, definitely contact us. Either contact Dave, Adam, or myself, or join the Exotix community. And we've built a lot of cool things into the seed bank that no one else has done. We're doing 5% of revenue sharing with the community. So with that said, I don't know of any other seed bank that basically gives back to their community and the people that support them. And that's something that we're the first to do as well. So this is, like I said, the world's first Web3 seed bank, the first business to give back to their community in the seed and genetics world, which only helps, as far as marketing and getting new people to buy seeds, because they actually have an incentive to go and push it. So we're very excited. I mean, it's been 6 months in the works now, and we've tested all the kinks, and we've been able to use NFTs in a much different way than how anybody else is using them now. And the way that it works is basically you pay in crypto, USDC on the Ethereum network, and you make your purchase, and you also get an NFT. But the NFT holds no value. The NFT is basically a store of data that our platform can scan and automatically apply discounts. It enters you into our monthly giveaway. It allows you to leave a verified purchase review, and many other cool things. So it's revolutionary in a lot of ways, not only for seed banks, but for e-commerce all around.
Good.
No.
So what's the easiest way I could get a crypto wallet so I could purchase those seeds on that cushion?
Great question, man.
Yes.
So we recommend MetaMask to everybody. It's a decentralized wallet. It's, again, MetaMask, and you can look it up, metamask.io. It's a completely decentralized wallet that you can store your crypto in, and it doesn't run through a centralized exchange. So that's what we recommend to everybody, is if you don't no crypto. There's a saying called "not your keys, not your crypto," and what that means is basically if you don't have your private key to your wallet or your seed phrase, it's not actually your crypto. It's held on a centralized exchange, which can be, basically blacklisted or shut down at any time, and your money can be frozen. So obviously you have to get money into crypto. We recommend Coinbase for that, which is a centralized exchange, but then we recommend that you send it off from Coinbase to MetaMask so that no one can shut your money down.
Got it.
That's also
Thanks for answering that. Well, I'm gonna run, guys. I'll see you guys. in a
all
little
right.
bit.
Stone guy on the right. He's
appreciate
back
ya.
he's back in town.
Peace out. You guys be good out there.
I mean, he really is stoned.
Very
guy
nice.
He's stoneder.
on the
He's
right.
stoneder on Stoner guy.
Yeah.
He's even stoneder than normal.
How long's he been working on this character?
Working on it. What do you mean? He just lives it. That's how you do it.
That's him, man.
He's never broke character.
Let's see who what he comes back as.
Dude, and then we got the new Stone guy on the right. Part 2.
So, how does one, if they want to be a breeder, how do you get your seeds listed on NF Seeds?
Great question. So we have actually the most seamless process that I've seen for anyone onboarding. So I've looked at a lot of different seed banks and seen their process of how they onboard breeders, and we have a web form that we created with our site that allows breeders to upload all of their information. That's obviously after we approve them to list. For now, I'd say either contact myself or contact Dave if you're interested in listing on the platform, and we'd be happy to have a conversation with you and get your stuff listed. Like I said earlier, what's really cool about this is that we're able to pay breeders out on every transaction. So there's a lot of issues with breeders collecting money from seed banks. So, for example, Adam deals with seed banks and, a lot of the time has to go chase money down. But with our solution, he's paid out automatically on every sale, which, takes a lot of stress off us and takes a lot of stress off the breeder, which we think is a big deal. So that's the way to do it.
It's also cool to see things tracked, in real time. So you're like, oh shit, what's happening. You don't have to be checking back and figure out.
I didn't make 100 sales and not pay you your money. You know what I mean? That's,
and also you just know what you need to restock or. What's working, because that's also part of the thing is like if like James is awesome. He sends me a update every week. What's sold.
Shout out to James too. I love.
But
James.
not every seed bank
dude.
does that, and a lot of times they're just like, oh, dude, that's been sold out for like a year. You're like, whoa, shit. And if you don't pay attention,
Absolutely,
then you don't know, and so you're
and
like,
if you're dealing with 20 seed banks who all have your seeds, it's very hard to keep up on. And sometimes you're like, oh, did I send that guy packs, and does he owe me money? And
sure.
Well, there's the question that one would ask, right? I'll play the lay person here. I do that well. Wouldn't this method of distribution actually give like a digital chain of custody so that you actually know the genetics come
100%.
from the breeder?
Yeah, and that's the key is
blockchain. So that's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it, and obviously anyone that we deal with, this is not a third-party platform where Johnny can just come list his seeds on our platform. It's all direct with the breeder. We ask everybody, if you have questions or you want to verify the authenticity, feel free to contact the breeder and double check that we're an authorized seller of their products. Because that's a huge deal as well, as there's a lot of people who are doing resales or who are given packs who aren't authorized to sell any of them. And we've seen that a lot. I'm sure you know Adam.
I know Adam. He's over there.
Yeah, he's right over here.
I heard him.
So, how are the seeds shipped? And should anybody worry? Is it illegal in the United States to receive seeds?
No, not at all.
Everything's changed.
Yeah, everything is completely changed.
I'm playing the dumb
yeah,
guy.
no,
here.
and
Jeez
Dave-
Oh, you're so good. I can't
Dave-
tell.
yeah,
He's
Dave
you're
knows
such
this better than any of
pro
us.
at being the dumb guy. I thought it was real.
Yeah, so the DEA put out a memo that basically said that anything seed tissue culture that contains less than the threshold amount of THC is legal to ship. They're removing seeds from the controlled substance list, which is a huge deal. And, we're at the point now where we're really ready to take this opportunity to really blow this thing up because it's now legal 100%, unlike it has been in the past.
It's awesome now because everything's like, you finally got some clarity where you're like, okay, cool. We got the letter. There it is. It's official. Seeds. It was great because James tested a bunch of my seeds when he had it, and it was like, everything just comes up zero. So you're like, it doesn't get better than that. You're like, okay, how about 0.00000? Is that good?
Totally.
Is that good enough for you?
Yes, that works.
So it stays way below the limit.
But it's not just for a sales distribution model. I mean, I listened to you give this, onboarding pitch a dozen times the past week to different breeders, and they all ask different questions, which really sort of sits in the ether until they all coalesce, and it really is the new way of conducting business. I mean, totally. I can see this for any means, right? Go back in time. What were we afraid of ordering a Phototron? Back in the year, it was getting mailed to you from that guy, and it was on a list, and you bought it, and so that's gone now.
Yeah, totally. And the fact that, a lot of people, when they're buying seeds as consumers, they don't want it on their bank statement, or they don't want it on their, credit card, for that very reason as well, is that they're basically telling the government that's what they bought. So, the way that we do it, it's completely decentralized. And if you were going to, worry about buying seeds and having them, on your wallet, though, you can just create a new wallet, load some USDC, buy a pack of seeds, and just keep that as your seed wallet, and no one will really be able to tie it back to you, which is pretty cool.
And if anybody has a question on this, feel free to, type in the chat.
But also from a collector's point of view too. If you think about all the packs that people buy, and they get home, they've got it all there, they put it in their fridge. One day they crack it open or whatever. Very few people are writing down everything that they've ever done, and you just kind of one day you're thinking about fuck, I think I agree with that. You might have a memory of it, but it's cool to at least have something at some point where you can kind of track everything, because it's just more data too, right? So you can have, even if the NFT is just, if it doesn't have a value, but it still has a value as far as the data point that's there. It's like, okay, I bought this pack on this day. Cause sometimes it's remembering even when you flipped your lights, right? You're like, fuck, was it 2 weeks ago, or Dad didn't write it down, you know what I mean? But this is just automatically doing the work for you. So.
Well, and what's cool too is that our receipts that come with the site are a store of data as NFTs, but we're also going to be doing store of value NFTs with specific limited edition packs where the breeder will be able to associate a piece of art or their own artwork or whatever that will come with the seed. So you'll get your digital receipt as an NFT, and you'll also get the artwork that holds some value that you can resale or collect or whatever. So this is really just the beginning. We launched this on Monday, and like I said, the response has been phenomenal. So we're pretty excited for the future.
And I want to clarify a point. You said resale, and that should not be confused with when you purchase seeds from NF Seeds, you're going to receive an NFT that is your receipt, right? It shows
Correct.
that you bought the seeds, NF Seeds sent them to you. If you go ahead and say, oh, I have 2 packs of these, I wanted to give them to Adam or sell them to Adam, you can do that, but you can't transfer that NFT as ownership because there is no way to confirm chain of custody. Once it leaves NF Seeds and goes to someone else, no, you don't know if they swapped them out.
Correct. Yeah, and that's a big problem is, with third-party marketplaces, they keep the packaging and they take the good seeds out and put some mid seeds in there. So, yeah, well, no,
Mid-Steo seeds?
Right?
No. Oh, wait, I said Mid-Steo. It is...
Oh, is Mid-Steo
It
coming
is
tonight?
well, it is the first, right? It's the first Friday, so...
Don't worry, that's happening.
Well, but I'm just saying, you know what? If you're listening right now live for the first time, because there's a lot of people from the exotics community, you can send an email to DunnDeal at AdamDunnShow.com with your name, with your phone number, a little something on why you would want an S-Tech light, and really butcher the spelling of the name Mid-Steo as best you can. And you might win one, because we're going to give one away at the end of the show.
I'm not sure if it's from a breeder point of view or...
Yeah, so I think I understand the question.
We'll repeat the question.
Is that a breeder?
I don't know. Yeah, smart face.
Yeah, smart face. I'm reading your question here.
You have to read the question because people are listening on SoundCloud. Okay, they're not looking at the chat.
Yeah, so what it says is, so you need to turn the payment back into ETH, which is Ethereum, then into cash, still paying a fee and showing a transaction. So no, I think that you're talking about if you're a consumer buying seeds. You turn your ETH into USDC, and then you can purchase seeds on the platform. Now, if you're a breeder, you get automatically paid in USDC, and what you do with it is up to you. Whether you convert that to Ethereum or you put it in your bank account, we don't. That's completely up to you on what you want to do with your profits.
Yeah, Okay, but yeah, that was more of a consumer thing.
Yeah.
Well, you could join Patreon and become a Patreon member. You take some of that profits and $4.40 a month.
Huge
I mean, I'm a
profits.
Patreon subscriber. It's great. I love watching the after show every week.
There you go. The aftermath.
Yeah, right.
The aftermath episode. Odie in the house, by the way.
Odie.
He's just lurking around.
He just sits. He talks so much.
I
He
know.
doesn't want to.
He knows
come
if he
on.
comes over here, he's going to overtalk. He's worse than us.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're doing better now.
That's sort of
We
the
got- we
hint,
got scolded.
Odie.
We got- we
You're
got- we got
supposed to
smacked
come
down.
on over and sit down. Maybe just letting you know you could do that.
You can always. Well, yeah, because actually, we could sign you up. We could sign you up as the next breeder on the program. So there you
Yeah,
go. We
absolutely.
Like, we got another one.
so
Just
I
lure
think-
him in.
I think Smartface is a breeder, and he's asking, how do you get the money out?
Yeah.
My best advice is that you keep it decentralized, and if you need to cash it out, use
Oh,
a
he's got a
centralized
smart-
exchange like Coinbase, where you can sell it immediately and then send it right to your bank account. It's pretty seamless.
Seamless.
Where'd Vinny Bob? Oh, he's on the other side, probably. Helping out. So
You want to offer Odie a dab out of your new Dab X Go? Look at that.
see, look at him. Yeah, the last guy you want to offer a dab to.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I'm rolling a joint, so I'll have that in a minute.
Hour or an hour. It's a minute or an hour.
Want a chocolate? We have a Vinny
Speaking
chocolate,
of-
even though he's not here.
The flavor.
The terps.
The term.
So Odie, natural born. Natural born.
So Odie, what's it like to smoke?
Yeah, it's pantomime. The pantomime over there.
No,
it's
no,
for like.
that's
It's
not
okay. You're fine.
What does he need?
No, just chill.
Welcome.
You can sit.
Say hi to you boys.
You can pop in, of course. There we go. We got.
Just been on the grind, working for Adam.
Oh, wait, I know. I really work my friends hard.
What's it like to work for Adam? Tell us. Tell us. Fill us all in.
Wow,
Oh.
it was a
I
smooth
hear you.
experience today. Yeah.
Was it good? Was it
Yeah,
good?
it turned out nice and easy when I got the Modelos in.
That's when it all flew. Yeah,
Modelos.
I noticed that. I know. Right as I left, it was they were coming in. So welcome to the show, Chaz from
Thank you
the,
for having me.
the London Police. You are. It's funny because your crew is. I mean, I always think of personally. It's like it's you and Bob. Obviously, in my head is the London Police, but I'm so rarely get the chance to hang out with Bob. Bob's like the most elusive character of your
He
crew.
almost doesn't exist.
it's like
Does he exist?
I was so stoked when I saw you guys were all coming. I got a team in Tennessee. I was like, oh, they're all coming. It's going to be great. And then all of a sudden you showed up. I was like, it's back to. Luckily it was you because I mean you're the easy. You're to me the bubble guy in there is the most important part. And then, but Bob's shit it just blows it up. And makes
Bob
it.
just did an incredible. We
His
just
stuff
made
is-
a dog park in Nashville.
I saw that.
So it was great. It's like a big residence building that obviously is in the center of downtown Nashville. So there's going to be a lot of dogs living in there, and it's particularly for them. So the idea was that we painted a giant dog mural featuring dogs from a lot of the people who were part of the project. So you got the mayor's dog in there, like the top builders. His dog's in there, and we met all the dogs during the week. And Bob was amazing. He did an incredible job.
If you knew how excited Bob and Chaz are about dogs, you would understand this much more because they made an album. Didn't you make an album?
Yeah, we made the London Police Dog Singers. That's on SoundCloud.
I swear to God, no, this is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've written 40 songs about dogs. They're kind of like small little radio jingles type thing. I just write them in my head. It's just for my own pleasure, really. Like.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And so I knew like once I saw Dog Park, you guys, I was like, oh, they're literally
dream job,
literally in heaven right now.
Dream job.
And then they had whose dog was it that you guys did because you had the one dog that was in the picture that was
Yeah, there was one dog. It was the guy who's like the top boy of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting story it was. He was telling me back in the middle 80s there was only 10 people living in downtown Nashville because there was a rule that you just couldn't have residential buildings in the downtown. He got that changed with a vision that, bring people into the downtown and stuff. And now there's like, I think 15,000 people living in the downtown.
That's a great. So there you go.
Yeah, and that was him. And his dog died recently. It's the one in the middle you see there with the bowl there, Cosmo. So they were really happy, and it was nice that behind every dog on the wall there was a story, this kind of thing.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. He's fine.
That's how I roll it.
Look at him. He's fine. Good. But that's awesome. That's so you did Tennessee, then you guys came here.
Yeah, we did an Ultra Festival in Miami as well. So me and Gallo,
Yep.
Italian artist who also painted in.
We're
in
going
the
to look
coffee
at some
shop,
of that
yeah.
in a second. Yeah, that's
Yeah, we painted Ultra Festival in Miami, which is really, really funny thing to do because you got all these like big artists like Tiesto and David Guetta, and it's that style of music being paid millions to, you know, fuel this festival, you know.
Right.
And then we get one of the guys who's part of the organisation likes art, so he gets us in to paint little, huts and stuff around the festival. We're so unimportant there, but it's wonderful. You get like the accessible areas. You can do what you want.
no, that's awesome.
It was a lovely weekend.
It's always
in Miami.
I mean, should be a combo at all times, right? It's like artists of all types, especially at a festival like that. So it's cool that you get to do. So you guys did it live on stage, or you did it kind of
we're
offside?
literally just like little details of the festival.
Oh,
As
that's
any
cool.
festival is, there's a whole area, and then there's that stage there, and
Gotcha.
the big stage. And we're just in the cracks. So should you want to see a 50-year-old painting like in a field, there we are, like doing our thing, and it's fun because you get to go to Miami and see your friend.
No, that's sick.
Super cool.
And then up here, you guys did like a private Airbnb or something like that.
Yeah, there's a geezer opening an Airbnb up near Silverthorne, I think it is, in the mountains here, and he wants every room themed by different artists and art all through the house. So, I mean, we all know that these days, you get a lot of choice with B&B. So his idea is to, make it an art, adventure, and maybe at a certain point you can do the augmented reality with the phone and QR codes that tell you more about the artist, and treasure hunts in the grounds, and trying to take that Airbnb experience to another level on using art and that kind of thing.
So cool.
Well, I'm watching this.
Yeah, that's Gallo yesterday.
And so were you, Adam? Was he in the crew of people who
Yes,
were
he
on?
was. Yes.
Yeah, listen, don't hold me. that was Willie. Willie was out of his mind.
No, that was.
I don't want any part of
I
this.
remember. I remember it well.
Because every time I say the word London Police, he associates that with Willie's bar
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve when we had Willie on, and we had to like literally turn him off just because he was out of control. It was like Amsterdam during lockdown.
Yeah, I can't remember which part of the
Everybody
pandemic
was
we were in,
like,
whether it was you weren't allowed.
nobody
out
had
at all,
masks.
or
Dave was freaking out. He was like, "Look at them all! They're all nobody has masks." He couldn't believe it.
Yeah, shameful day.
It was. Shout out to Willie. Shout
I'm
out to Willie.
supposed to give you a big hug from Willie. I'm
Oh,
supposed to
oh.
give Cece a big hug from
Oh, my
Willie.
God.
And I'm supposed to give Nick a little attaboy on the chin.
Oh, that sounds like
Yeah.
so Willie.
Well, Willie's the greatest, and he's running that bar in Amsterdam now. If anyone goes through Amsterdam, go to the Café Havelaar. Willie's always in there, and he's still breaking all the rules, like
The old Dutch days. So that's the thing, is the Dutch, back when we were hung out there, was a lot more piratey and cool, and like now it's kind of seems like, I haven't been there I was there a couple of years ago, but definitely seems like it's lost that
Yeah, it has changed,
vibe, which
of
is
course.
like, you're like the old Dutch, which is like, whatever, you know what I mean? You didn't give a fuck about
Absolutely,
anything,
yeah,
as long as you
we
didn't
miss
hurt
those
anybody.
days. Now, Willie's holding them strong. So go to the Café Havelaar in Amsterdam. It's a really
Yeah, I was just there
Good
with
spot.
he and Yair, and it was fun watching. They handed out the 100 free drink tickets to all the drunkards in there. And,
Oh, they must have been going nuts.
oh,
They were
they
lovely.
were having fun with it. So they would walk up, they would exchange their token, and Willie would take it and he'd put it in the cup and he'd make the drink. And as soon as Willie turned his back,
Someone would grab it.
Yair would reach in,
Yeah.
pull all the tokens out, and hand them out to everybody.
Stealing the
again.
cookies from the cookie
It
jar.
was the funniest thing in the world.
That's pretty much like tradition in Dutch style. Because one time when I was with Crazy White, remember Crazy White Sean, of course.
he does
So
that.
Crazy White Sean and Al at a festival in Belgium, and we were the first people at this festival because we drove down early. So we got to Al's like super like, we gotta get down there early. So we got there at like 6:30 in the morning or something crazy. We're sitting in the parking lot and we're like, fuck it, let's just go up and then see if anybody's there. We like walked kind of in. Nobody was really saying anything, and at one point we were like, hey, we're here with ministry, right? And the guy goes, oh, what's your name? And Al goes, Al. And he goes, oh, he thinks it's Al Jurgensen. And he goes like, come, follow us. And he takes us to a dressing room. It's all full of beer. And we're sitting, and we're like sitting there. Me and Al are like, oh my God, they think we're ministry. This is great. Right. So we're sitting. And so Crazy White starts walking around and he finds a fucking roll of drink tickets, and he's just, oh, here, put these in your bag, right? So, a roll of drink tickets, and then another roll of food tickets. So we just went to this festival. We had thousands of tickets. We were like ordering tables of beer, like, give me a whole table of beer, you know. The guy would fill up the whole table, and then Crazy White would like jump on the table and knock all the beers over and go, give me another one, you know. It was like, and then at the end we ran out of tickets, and we were like, fuck, how do we go through 1,000 fucking drink tickets? Like, this is crazy. And then at one point he did exactly the same thing. He just waited, and he was like, walked around, grabbed them all from the guy, came back, he's like, I got more. And I was like, oh my God. Because the Belgian guys didn't rip them, they just put them into the thing. Like, you got to rip them. That's the key, you know. If you want to have a little bit of fucking control of your drink tickets, rip them in the end.
I was talking with someone the other day at the Ultra Festival in Miami, and these days there's all like chips in your passes and stuff like. There's all these new ways, because back in the day, remember when it was backstage and you had a sticker? Right. So you'd just go back with your mate's sticker, stick it under there, go back, get the next person in. You get like about 18, 19 of you, and I'm like, of course. 2 stickers. Like, that was slowly working your way backstage where the beer might be free or something like that.
Clean bathroom.
The whole goal of the night is to like beat the system however you can. That was the whole deal.
Ultra Miami the other day, I had this dude come up to me, and he's like, can I? Yes, let me have a good look at your wristband. And he had this like set of pens and bands that he could sort of copy, and he would start like, okay, so that's a yellow one with like a red rim, and it says, he'd start trying to recreate it, because generally you just go like that, don't you? And the guy goes, yeah,
I know. There's people who have like, where they're smart, where they just go like, call up all these companies and say, I'm having a festival, I need like a sample set of what you got, and then they get all the ones from the different companies, and then they have them on their car, and then they go to the festival and they sit back and just figure it all out in their fucking thing, and they go, it's like, it's a whole system. The band recreation.
And what you realise in the end, after years and years of trying to get backstage, more backstage, on the stage, with the band, you realise that the best place is actually being a paying customer and being out in the crowd. It's like, man, this is fucking great. This is what it's about.
You never see, exactly. We've been to hundreds of shows and never actually saw the show, because we were just sitting on the backstage, and you're like, oh, that was a great show. Yeah, I didn't hear any of it. I was like backstage, really high, hanging out with all the people. Yeah. Has been kind of.
I riddled that when I used to travel with Dark Star Orchestra. I just had them set up another fin, and they'd broadcast the show, and I went and got Shure in-ears with a little receiver. And so anywhere I went, I just had my headphones in, I could listen to the show.
That's smart. I missed a million shows. And ruined most of them too, like, because we get everybody really high, then they go out and play, and they come back in all super like, it was the worst show we ever did. But it's like, thanks, Adam. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, should have probably hung out with me before the show. It's been
Humphreys McGee started doing that. Like, they sold the option when you got to a show, you could pay for headphones, so you didn't have to listen to the crowd chatter.
That's cool.
Great idea.
Interesting. So, quick weed question from the chat. Odie, is it coming back? What was it again?
So somebody asked
the Mickey Kush.
Kush.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, we saved the last few hundred seeds. We'll be delving back into it before long.
Nice. So they're out there. They're there.
They're there.
Stashed.
They're just not available for public.
Mm-hmm. Not so well. That's
what do you mean not available for the public? What does that mean?
Not yet.
Well, we sold them for years. It's a really fast sativa that we sold for years. Mickey Kush is one of our top 3 strains.
And the Mickey was named after who or what?
No, it just
nothing. Mouse.
Nothing.
The mouse was named after the mouse.
No, Mickey, like is an Irish Mickey.
Yes. Got it.
Because it's Sweet Irish
Mickey
Kush and Jack the Ripper.
Gotcha.
What are those 2 flavors out there?
Which one's that?
The Big Jack.
Whatever you just gave me smells amazing.
Yeah, that was some
this?
slider.
Tell me everything about this.
Slider on mine, but I don't know what was.
It was glue.
Some glue.
Gorilla glue, yeah.
Gorilla glue at the bottom.
Gorilla glue.
Gorilla glue.
That's the slider. Which that was a little different. It's got a different nose.
Yeah. Lemony.
Old, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of old, yeah.
Hazy.
It's weird. It's a hazy, but it's not. It's like a pure indica, but it's got like a hazy vibe to it.
Right.
I like.
It's got to smell it.
It's so funny when you take your headphones off in here. You think it's going to be as loud as it is when you're listening. It's like silent disco.
I know, right?
you
can barely hear anything.
Yeah, there's
outside
nothing
of these
going on.
headphones.
Use their own. Yeah. So next week on the show, we're going to have Tim McCormick from Culture Biologics, which is carbon-based nutrient line, and he's going to be going deep on that shit. So all questions next week. So basically next week, so as we're going to have like these extras, so like next week or next time we have you in a week before, I'll make sure that we have like all the crypto kind of weird questions, just because it's like
this is just the beginning.
It's
Adam,
almost
you
like
know that.
like stump the expert vibe, because like with Tim, he's awesome. Like he can delve into anything in any nutrient line and kind of break it down for you. And just the fact that he has to like look at other people's programs and then figure out how to match his thing to it. It's already a huge like endeavor right there, because everybody's shit's different. So all of a sudden you're like, oh, let me get the analysis of yours and see how we can make this work. So he's going to be coming in next week. So
yeah, Tim's awesome.
We're going to get
real smart,
all deep on that. And then so from here you guys are going to LA, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to be there like a week, and you got a bunch of little projects or cool shit, or just
built
friends?
up a great friend base over 20-25 years coming to the US.
Would imagine. Yeah, I would imagine you have.
It's so great to touch base with people, and we've got good friends in LA. We're going to go see, and I think they live. Some of them live in Fresno, so they'll come to LA, and then we go up to Fresno and see what happens. I've got 2 weeks left here. I feel like kind of having that sort of moment where I go and stay in a motel on my own and just like decompress from everything, like 5-6 days, and just like get.
You can DoorDash some Modelos. And
exactly.
That's all he needs.
Yeah,
exactly.
This
He's a
stuff,
simple
whatever this is, and all the millions of different things you guys do here in Colorado.
It's been pretty interesting, I bet, for you guys, because everything's happened in it. Like Amsterdam, all these things have. Like it's weird, like some things that they won't allow, which are like with edibles, they're super strict. Like you don't get any of the selection like you get, because here it's like, how can you outdo each other on fucking
100 milligram
packaging and style and delivery and all that. And over there it's like very strict, like you can have lemon cake and that's about it. Not even lemon, like it has to be boring, like really bad cake only. And then if you go,
it's all getting more and more controlled and less and less, and it's
Yorkshire pudding
dying. Like here is where it's at. I'm telling you, it looks like the Body Shop here.
You want a dab?
Yeah, give him a dab. Give the man a
Here,
dab.
smell this.
He liked it the other day. I gave him 2 dabs yesterday, and they were done. It was tough.
Exactly. That's kind of sun
and then
cream.
Gallo.
Did you smoke that, or like? There's so many little contraptions.
It's via suppository.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have those too if you need. For the long hauls. But
the reason Gallo's not here is he ate the chocolate.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I already knew that. I knew if he eats the chocolate, that's it. Gone.
Mark
deal.
fucked me up with his Yeti.
Oh, the Yetis are good.
Oof.
Yeah. The Yetis are good.
Oof. It just like 10 minutes ago when Mark
I'm
was
taking
here.
my first dab off the dab X.
Nice. That's always
The Yeti hit.
First dab off the dab X.
Yeti.
The Yetis are good.
Yeti. What are you doing, Vinny? Did you took the plastic out of it and everything?
Yeah, first dab.
Let's hope so.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
I hope
Did you
so.
you took the thing out of the bottle?
There you
You're
go.
sure? You think you did the old
First dab
He's ripping
off
it.
of his new dab eggs.
Oh, that's like a.
Yeah, once I turned up the heat, it was better. Like the first one, I was like, "What happened? Is that what you dab on?"
No, the deal is with it. Here's the deal. What you do is you hit it. You do it once after you put the thing in there, and you don't even do nothing with it, and then you do
That's
it
what I
again,
did.
and then the second, then it works better because it doesn't really go from the top; it goes from the bottom. So it first has to melt it in.
Mark's cracking himself up.
I know, Mark.
Keep
What are you
going.
doing over there? What do you do to
He
yourself?
loves his dab eggs. is
I
what he's
actually
trying to
like
say.
it a lot, dude.
He can't figure out how to like deliver the style. He's like, "Oh, this is so good. I don't know how to make it sound bad."
How do I insult Dave
would I
and
do
still make it sound like
had
it's
to make
a
it.
great dab?
Well, you had to
ring?
make it hotter.
Where did it go?
Yeah, I just had to make it hotter. It was good.
Oh, it's like a way to
good.
kind of do.
What's the deal with the? May I ask?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the deal with the? Obviously, we've got a green screen here, and you guys
Oh
have
no!
provided
Shh,
this-
don't break the fourth
Oh,
wall. They didn't
smoke.
know.
Oh,
No, this is
no.
real.
Amazing.
This is
we're-
all real. Like
we're in
this
a
is real.
Amazing
That's
stuff
real.
going on behind this. What's the inspiration
was
for
so
that?
much-
Like,
Do you see right here? Odie's a hologram.
Yeah, this is like
that was obvious.
that's like he's that Tupac of the weed world.
We could
there you
we
go.
could switch to that
yeah,
instead.
exactly.
See, we can
If you
change
like
it up.
that.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all a bit
I agree. Let's
seance.
change it up.
Oh, you like it? It was a little bit rough. You got woof. Yeah, it
Right
keeps
now.
everybody a little on their toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that keeps everybody on
Well,
their
then the
toes.
smoke is 3D because then if there's a lot of smoke here, it just looks like it's part of it.
There was smoke here before. So
Then we got Cop Adam.
Oh yeah, ooh, yeah, Yeah, and then we got Dave,
And Double Barrel Dave.
Double Dong Dave over here.
We'll go back to Sergeant Danko Dunn.
Yeah, it can go in every direction.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you've got a real arsenal of
Yeah, we got
material
options.
there.
We got options.
Yeah, we got all quality.
I think you could step your game up a little bit with the.
All quality. Look, we could throw. Why don't we throw some gallo work up there? Come on,
Get some gallo.
Where's the gallo?
Okay.
Come on,
I can't talk
put a gallo
highly
piece.
enough about this guy. I met him
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Let's
Italian
put-
artist, absolutely.
because he's not here.
Real.
We have to talk for him. So
Yeah.
yeah. He was in heaven though. He had good coffee, fucking clean wall. Came in before I even got here. He had already done like major. Like he banged that out in 5 hours. What was it? 1 o'clock.
4.5.
4.5 hours.
It looks great too.
4 hours and 20 minutes it took about, probably.
Bum.
Where's the background? What's going on?
I'm working on it. I
Jesus,
wasn't
are you
prepared for all
painting
this.
it over there? Are you
No,
painting
I have
it by
to. I
hand?
had, you know,
Hand-
if you want me to explain the process while I'm doing it, I will. I'll do it all
make it
for
like
you.
the kid. That's
Okay.
like the kid show, and then the OBS has to connect to the thing.
Oh, don't say that. You're going to trigger him.
Oh, he's triggered.
Don't do that.
He's
That
calling.
was.
It's coming.
I've
It's
saw
coming.
that
We're
side.
working on it. We're
Feeling
working on it. Yeah.
I'm coming. Hold on.
I got like whole crack technicians working on how to move a
Wow,
picture.
I ate 2 of these at one time, Mark. You gave me 2 of these Yetis in the past. I'm so glad I didn't eat 2 tonight. That was,
No, I think we only did.
idea.
Oh, you went
did
to.
one.
By the way, you went to Meow Wolf on our
oh yeah,
because we're having next week the
2 weeks.
oh no 2 weeks we're gonna have the main guy behind it on that.
Vince Kadlubeck.
Yes.
Should be a good one.
How was your experience?
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you for telling us to go somewhere. A recommendation's always good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, because you can blame it on them. If you just say, oh, yeah, well, he told me to go.
That place
So
sucked.
we went there, but he also gave us some of the mushroom chocolates. So we all banged a chunk of that first,
Nice.
and then
Banged
it
a
kicked,
chunk of
Banged a chunk. They banged a
First.
chunk.
Just
it
translate.
kicked in literally at ticketing. It
Yeah.
kicked in literally, and the first thing I noticed is there was just kids around. And it was just like, oh, maybe we're too old for this. Should we? But it was a good experience. They put a lot of effort in, didn't they?
Yeah.
They put a lot of
yeah,
effort in.
big
But
time.
like, I was thinking about going to the nearest bar after about half an hour,
And
and it was $50 each. So I'm like,
oh wow.
should I stay longer? Am I trying to justify
I thought it was around
it?
30, but yeah, 50 might be.
Yeah, no, it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was a lot of effort been put in there. So fair play, and a lot of people having a good time.
Yeah,
Kids enjoying themselves.
It's
so-
definitely one of those. It's crazy when you see it. That's a purpose-built building where it is and everything. It's like
Yeah.
it's not even like a renovation of a thing.
Yeah.
Where that. So that's like, there's more energy or there's more put into this one where you're like
I
they're
think
gonna
that's
get
the trouble, isn't it? It's in the end, it is
Yeah.
essentially it's artificial.
Yeah, they're gonna get their
Because
money's
you
worth.
remember the old squat days in Amsterdam where you'd walk through the squats, like there used to be this old Belgian embassy that was empty
Yeah.
in Amsterdam, and it just got turned into this
and
giant
that was called
place. Where you,
and it was called the Elf, right?
yeah, and
it
you'd
was
walk
awesome.
through it, and it would be room after room of some guys put all this stuff up in this room of old curtains. In this room, it's just shoes, and then there's
Yeah.
a coffee shop on the top. You only
Yeah.
had
Club.
drank out of jam jars.
And there's a club in the middle, sort of
Yeah,
there. That
but
yeah.
it was genuine.
And glass blowers
just a
going
bunch
on.
of weirdos got in a building together and
Sure.
decided, hey,
And it was an old Belgian, embassy, so
wasn't
it
it?
had like the
the electric doors and stuff.
everything about it was like fucking bulletproof and shit. You were like, oh damn! And then
And the squatting rules back in the day in Amsterdam were just incredible.
well, do you remember? Do you remember the
buildings.
America, whatever it was called, the warehouse down on the water, America? That was the like same deal. They had the skate park in there.
That was the silo. Was
No, the other end of the,
I'm
of the
not
town.
sure. There were so many, wasn't there?
Right.
And
There was
it's-
this place called America, which was like an old warehouse, and it was, you know how those Dutch warehouses that had like dirt floors, pretty much, even though they were because were just years and years of just shit going into these places, and they were like this. So this one they had a freight elevator, and you go up the elevator, and it was like one floor was a skate park. One floor was a Western town, and one floor was a club, like a high-end, like Euro club. And you were like, "Wait a minute, was there a Western town there?" And you're like, "Yeah, Western town." It's just kind of built in. It was just like the weirdest shit. And you'd just be going up and down the elevator, like that's already, everybody who comes up and goes like, "Whoa, what's a skate park?" And you're like, "No," you could tell who's going to where. But yeah, it was Amsterdam. I always had, and there was another one that was even weirder, which was like a climb into a hole in the ground, and then you ended up in this weird spot where they used to throw books into this one hole, and there was like just piles of books that were like.
I think you went deeper into the squat scene than
30 foot tall. 30 foot tall.
I remember climbing any holes.
Oh no, there were some good ones down there. Some definite.
But it was the scene.
The silo was
gorgeous,
also
wasn't it? There was so many squats.
Yeah.
And then after hours, after bars closing, everyone went to squat parties.
Yeah, that was
no one cared. It was all good natured. And, can I draw on that wall? Yeah, sure. Draw on that wall.
Of course.
And meet. You know, it was a fantastic time.
Yeah, the silo was interesting. That was also one of those ones where it was like under a grain silo. So you go into these like catacomby kind of vibe places, and dude, they had the shock of daylight parties. Remember those? I don't know if you remember those ones.
Shock of daylight.
Shock of daylight party.
Shock of daylight.
Yeah, shock of daylight. So it's pretty obvious what that means. That means you're like, when you come out, you're like, holy fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. Walk of shame home, ride your bike home and ride your bike through town. Everybody's just getting, here we go, some freshies.
So that's your new painting in the...
nice.
Is that what you were just working on in there?
Exactly.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, sick.
Wow.
He's a pro.
Of course.
That took him like an hour.
Yeah. I mean, a little longer.
I saw him in there working on it.
It's all about the prep, right? So
well, if you do something thousands and thousands of times, you get good at it.
That's so cool.
And if that's drawing this character, then I have achieved that. So
this non-phallic character, there's nothing phallic about it whatsoever. Never.
Not at all. Everyone sees what they want to see, don't they?
It's funny. No, it's great. It always works, and that's my unisex bathroom, so it makes sense, right? We got the two-headed. We can explain it real quick. Where's the bathroom? There it is. That's all there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good job, as always.
Yeah, it looks great.
We still have the original one from the first place that we had, the first
Santa Fe place,
Santa Fe spot where that was like we're not leaving it behind. There's no way. So it's at my house. It's too big to fit into any doors. I have to have it it has to be a garage space or something where I can actually get it into. Couldn't bring it in here. I was already like, fuck, can't physically cannot.
Why did I keep this in the first place?
No. It's only I had it hanging in my garage in the Rhino, and it was perfect because like a friend of mine from New York who's considers himself an artist or whatever walked in and he's like, is that a London Police? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, dude, that's worth because he's from New York, so everything's a value. That's fucking worth like $10,000. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, I go, well, you can give it to me, no problem. We'll work it out. But it's definitely hard because it's on, it's literally on original. Like 1950s plasterboard. It's like it's like crazy shit because the building was so old.
They're turning up.
Didn't even have it had the slats on the back. It was one of those deals.
Plaster and lath.
It was like the old school. So when we cut it out, we were like framed it out and then transported it already twice now. So.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they're turning up now. The stuff that we did, on the streets and in squats and parties 20 years ago.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we've been doing it 25 years now, so they're
cool.
quite primitive and they look worn, but they are starting to pop up. It's interesting to see what survived and what didn't. And
yeah, you put out enough work like that, then you'll definitely some things won't be worth their time to get to because they'll be like, fuck it, there's no way, and it just last forever just for that reason. And some of those buildings that you did in Amsterdam, for sure, they must be the corner place that you did a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that was 15 years ago or something now.
Yeah. That
was a funny story because the gallery that we were working with was next door, and we said, oh, that geezer, like, ask him, can we paint the side of the building? And the building was painted grey, and it used to get hit with tags and posters and, So this guy turned around and said, yeah, I like their stuff, they can paint it. So we started painting it, and I think on the fourth day, we were closing in on finishing, and this sort of guy stood there, and he goes, it is very nice what you are doing here. What are you doing? Well, we start, you're friendly, people stop and they talk. Oh, yeah, we're making a mural. He goes, yes, you have permission to do this. And we're like, well, yeah, we did have permission, from the guy from the house. He goes, but did you have permission from the gemeente? From the council.
Not the gemeente, that's the word.
Disclaimer, okay, we knew we should have got permission from them, but with the permission from the house owner, let's just do it and see what happens.
Of course.
So he was really kind. He said, no, we like it, we see what you're doing. Make your statement. We're going to take a photo, and it's going to go around a table of geezers, and they'll decide whether we can or can't keep it. So we were like, whatever. We've got our photo. We've got this great mural on the Prince and Garret, one of the most prominent canals in Amsterdam. It's really special. When I first went to Amsterdam in '98, I squatted in the building opposite as a young geezer with like dreadlocks and all grimy, and 10 years later there's my mural like opposite, and it felt like a special thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Full circle.
Yeah, kind of thing. So anyway,
past
at a certain point, after about 2 months, there's a newspaper article that says London Police mural moet weg, London Police mural must go, and this sort of, and we were like, okay, well, fair enough, it's been up for 4 or 5 months, it looked good, blah blah. And then the local people all like started a petition, and there was like this little march there, and a couple of people with banners, and it was a bit silly. Like, and the TV went down, and they said no, the people like it, and they reversed the decision.
Oh, that's
so
great.
it got to stay. And then about 2 months later, the whole of Amsterdam canal system became a UNESCO heritage site. So now you can't change it. So actually, and we're included in that now. So
awesome.
with any luck,
Yeah.
we'll be there for forever and stuff. And
That's cool. They ever ask you to fix, like, do you have to ever do any touch up in 15 years? Or?
well, I think we need to approach them and ask it.
Yeah.
Because
Might as
you
well
can't
tighten
touch anything now because it's a UNESCO heritage. I mean, we can't even do that. But it'd be good to upkeep it and offer to, can we, make it even better? Add some detail.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd let you do that just so it looks nice, right?
I hope so. You hope so.
Well, these days, who knows? Somebody said, what? No, just get rid of that shit. Like,
No.
We forgot that's there. Get rid of it.
Yeah, you almost don't want to poke the bear, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Fuck, okay, maybe we should. But that's killer. It's nice to see the...
And when you said touch it up, you meant take the whole thing down, right?
Right. Well, let me just... First we'll buff it out, and then we'll do something. Yeah, never let them do that. But yeah, it is definitely a different place, but it's cool to see some stuff. I mean, that was the whole thing about, the whole street art scene in Amsterdam, is that it was usually accepted more than, because it wasn't just straight up graffiti. It was more like people were trying to be creative, and there was,
It was finding the nooks and crannies in between illegal and legal, and it's strange how it's all changed.
Yeah. Well, there was enough time. I mean, there was always that was the funny thing is, like, if you saw a fully graffiti building, you knew that was a squat, because you're like, just nobody.
That's where you went, because they let you you basically decorated the house for them.
So you were like, okay, this is the spot. So there were some places that were definitely layers and layers of shit, and it was cool. So it was nice when you guys...
I don't think there's anywhere now in Amsterdam I really know that you can go and just start drawing on the walls and stuff like that. And back in the day, when you think about Hill Street Blues on the Warmerstraat and Seymour Likely and all these different Waghausen, and we used to basically just hang out there for weeks on end until the owner just gave in and was like, okay, you can draw on my fucking walls. Like, just stop asking me and just do it anyway. And we would just sort of decorate, and it was a wonderful time. But now, again, those sort of things have changed.
Yeah. It was like, it's crazy because here you have like, of course you have Miami scene, which it's like here became the kind of the new mecca as far as like everybody,
I'm loving what I'm seeing in the streets of Denver.
Being able to, like, every town is now copying Wynwood walls or now here they have crush walls, and it's like everywhere's kind of figured out that they can.
But why not? It just makes perfect sense, like walls, young aspiring artists. Give them walls. Give them a chance to, express themselves. And if you like it stays. Like there's a kind of law in society that that's got to go. It's to this or it's to that. And over time, some of them stay, and before you know it, you're 15 years on that wall, and it becomes a legacy.
It's like culture at that point,
Exactly that.
Super cool.
I think it's amazing what's going on the street here. Everything from the tagging and the throw-ups to the full-on murals and everything's alive and well, and you'll never stop graffiti. And whether you agree with that or not, that's your own personal opinion. But it's a fascinating thing to witness.
You'd rather have people put up interesting shit than to do only throw-ups and be like, it's like there's been time, because in New York there was a time period where it was like, if you knew what was going on, it was interesting and you could fucking follow it. But for the most people, it was just like, holy shit. Because it was like people got really just especially like, every subway window was like just layers of people's tags on top of each other. So you would,
Fascinating behavior, isn't it? It's really like...
Yeah, no, for sure.
Wonderful to see.
But like I said, most people would just never see that. They'd only see the fucking that they can't see out the window.
Yeah.
They're like, motherfuckers.
No, I get that too. I mean, there's differences of opinion. I totally get it. But for someone who's sort of,
We had Fab Five Freddy on the show recently.
yeah, it was a fascinating whole period of like through breakdance and graffiti.
And so they, doing all the trains, and then it was just like it made sense because you get to see your work, pass by the house 6 times a day or whatever. So it's like it became you can see the obsession there, and then.
But how it spread,
yeah,
it's pretty amazing. You go anywhere in the world now and you'll see graffiti, and I love it. It stems from that period as well, between the 60s and the 80s, where graffiti turned in and it came in with the hip hop scene as well, and absolutely fascinating that everyone likes to go and write stuff, to doodle, to make a mark. Whenever you're at those sort of parties or festivals where there's a wall where everyone can draw on, I guarantee you by the end you can't even read one sentence because so many people have wanted to have my name. It turns into this sort of beautiful mess of just colour and letters. You can't even read it anymore. Everyone likes to get up. I think in the end, I think it's a human trait, really, in some way or form.
Right.
100%.
For sure. And then also we were talking about NFTs earlier, and I asked you about what's up, and you were like, you're like, talk to my NFT people.
So confusing.
Well, I mean, the good thing is that I think combining, seeds with art, and it's a good way to always cross over. So hopefully we're gonna link up some of our friends, and basically it's kind of what I been wanting to do for a long time anyway. Like with glass, I had an idea a long time ago, which obviously it's really hard to kind of make you're dealing with 2 different artists at this point, but like get an artist and a glass artist to kind of like collab on a concept where they're both like working off of each other's style, So it'd always be nice to so I was always thinking about that when I had my glass gallery, and but with seeds it's even the same thing too, because most people kind of like what you like, so we kind of focus on what the Chaz style. Chaz likes more mellow weed, or he doesn't want all amped up.
Right now, you guys are killing me.
No, I know. We definitely.
Well, you tried to give Modelos to every single person that walked into.
There you go.
He was trying to pay back. It was
pushback. Absolutely. No, one of my favorite ever memories arriving in Denver was he used to have this kooky stretch limo that belonged to some big Bronco. You guys know it? Remember it? Yeah. It belonged to some big Broncos fans. Stretch limo. So it had the Broncos logo. Am I correct?
Yeah, but then I covered it with my face. Remember?
Your face.
Yeah, I had my face over the Broncos logo. So
me and Gallo.
And it had flames, but it was a Bronco with flames. It was a huge flamed out.
It was good times.
That's right. So me and Gallo have landed in Denver, and we're picking up the bags, and we've texted Adam. Yeah, I'm out front. He hadn't told us anything at this point, and I'm saying to Gallo do you think you remember to bring us some weed? He's going, I think so.
Really? That was your question.
We walk out with our baggage. There's this limo. It's like something out of a movie, and there's smoke billowing out. Those are the TSA guys. And no one cared at that point already. But it was just on that sort of.
This is like 2010,
right on the cusp,
11.
And
They
were still caring.
It's giving us the welcome. We're getting this stretch limo, and you start doing these dabs, and it's some of the first time I've done it. You had like blow torch, metal wires, all this stuff. And before we'd even got into Denver, I'm just looking at him and I'm going, "Fucking hell! I'm so high, I couldn't breathe properly with the altitude." And it was such a funny experience. It was a good time when you had that limo.
It was good times. It was a big shout out to Big Mike and Gas House. So I had him, and then I had Mongo. So I had I had Big Mike, who's 300 pounds or something, and then I had his boy Mongo, who's 6'7", and
one of them had a snake, right?
Was there snakes involved? I don't remember any snakes.
Okay,
no, we didn't.
Snakes on the limo.
But I had Mongo, and Mongo was great because he was literally Johnny Bravo. He was he had that he had the hair, and he had the body shape where he was just really big, goes down, and he was funny, and so I had him drive. So basically, at one point, we were all sitting in his car, and I was like, dude, if I go out and buy another car, and we all are going to drive around with 3 cars, it's going to be so stupid. Let's just get. Let's get this limo. So we got this limo, and then I had Mongo driving, and I had so everybody didn't know what the fuck was going on because you get Big Mike coming out with all his Russian like war tattoos and shit, just looking all crazy, and then Mongo 6'7", and then my picture on this car, and we'd pull up to clubs and shit, and people just be like, "What the fuck?" And then I'd pop out, and they'd be like, "Wait, you're no Bronco? Like, what the fuck?" They were all waiting, like, because in the beginning I had because the first couple weeks we just had the Bronco thing. I was like, all right, we got to put my own stickers on now because I'm disappointing everybody, like, constantly. Because every time we get out of the car, they'd be like, "Which Bronco? Which guy is it? Which guy is it?" No. Yeah, it was funny. Good times.
Excellent times. What became of that limo?
Sold it to a guy for like we bought it for $3 and I sold it for $2. So I actually had it for like 3 years, I think 3-4 years. So I kind of was like, it was at that point where it already burned out. I already burned the wheel bearings out and replaced them, and I already knew they were about to go again. So I was like, you know what, it's time to get rid of this thing.
Inside baseball.
And
you did the limo thing. You did it.
I drove it. Well, the thing is, we drove it like it was an airplane. Like I was like, oh, we're going to San Francisco. Oh, we're going to LA. Oh, we're going. Like, so we just kept driving on these long distance trips, and like limos are not made to go long distance. They're like
you went to Vegas,
around
right?
town things.
You went to Vegas in that thing.
Oh, Vegas. We burned a car. Like as we got married, we tried to get. We thought we were going to make it, but we didn't.
I don't think the smoke was marijuana. It was the transmission.
Yeah.
No, not in the beginning. When we picked them up, it was still good.
Not in the beginning.
But no, we blew out the fucking wheel bearing right outside of Vegas on our way to get married, and it was like, no, not. That was the whole point. We were bringing our beat up old limo through fucking, and we're gonna get married in it. But yeah, it was a good time. So we burned up there. We put a new one in, brought it back, got almost back, burned that one out, put another one in, and then it was like, all right, this thing's got to go. I think this point. So
it's cursed.
It was cursed. Yeah, we pushed it to the limit. And the craziest thing is we took it to San Francisco, and we were going down hills that I couldn't even sit in the seat anymore, where I was just flying to the front of the limo, like, oh shit, I can't even hang on, because it was like it was all like that was not good on it either, I'm sure. But
what time do you finish this show tonight?
We go till 7:10, another hour. So
yeah, I gotta get out of there.
I know you gotta go.
Busy geezer.
No, I know you got. So you got a big night tonight, Gallo.
Well, yeah.
What's the name of the performance?
Gallo. He's painting at what's this place called? Something Consciousness.
Oh.
All conscious.
New
consciousness. Yeah.
Ooh.
Cool.
Gallo is live painting there tonight. I don't know what the place is like or anything. We're going to be there.
Good times.
When do we get out of here?
Let's see. Adam, you coming?
I doubt we're coming, but what? You guys can go. You guys can go. I mean, it's gonna be late. It's a late gig, right? It's a midnight gig, I think. So
yeah, I guess so.
You know who might be there?
Who might be?
Some of our music people.
Oh, really? Well, there we go. We'll link you guys. We'll definitely put the word out. We'll put the word.
Chance.
No, it's not that I won't go. I would definitely like to go.
But I asked him earlier when we weren't on the show.
But I knew.
Like, fuck.
I just knew it was not
We're
happening.
diplomatic now. But no, I understand why you wouldn't want to go. I don't really want to go. I kind of got to because Gallo's my best friend.
No,
you might like this.
I might slip out.
Should take a dab.
Gallo.
No.
Keep those dabs away from me.
Right. As you can see, he will definitely deliver. Like 4 hours.
No, but I hope you liked that artwork, and it was really nice to meet all of you. I was listening to you guys talking. We got it on the other room while I was painting, so I heard a lot of what you were talking about.
Well,
so
awesome.
I'm
going to talk to you after. Yeah.
We'll link you guys up.
It's always great to see the Adam Dunn show.
It's always good to have our buddies in from the dam.
Thank you so much.
And
is that weed for me?
Don't forget the headphones.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
that's all for you.
This show is worldwide.
You guys are the best.
Yeah.
Oh man, no problem, my friend. So Chaz TLP, check him out, London Police on Instagram.
Yeah, shout out London Police.
And like I said, one day Bob's gonna come through. I'm gonna be so excited. Even in Amsterdam, he was elusive. So he's the most elusive of the crew. And Chinny Bon also, shout out to Chinny Bon, as he's doing a live show in New York. Nah, he's not hearing me. Anyway, live show in New York. If you check out their website, you'll see that there's a whole crew. Chinny Bon's also Italian. Same with Gallo. And Chinny Bon just did a whole show where he attached wires to a pair of glasses and he drew everything with his head, and he did these incredible work where you're just like, what, dude? What? Like, he's just taking it to a different level. Like, okay, now I'm just gonna draw with my face. Like,
that's crazy.
So yeah,
I can't draw to save my life. So
he's like, thank God for AI, bro.
art, man.
Check out Chinny and check out Gallo. And now we have this beautiful piece on our other side, which I think changed everything.
Yeah.
Because it makes everything just
It
like
looks dope
now
in
you get it.
person,
You're
too.
like, okay, now I see what's going on here. Perfect for coffee. If you can see this, if you're watching YouTube, you can, or if you're not watching this, you can just go on to Instagram and look up Gallo Artist on IG, and you'll see his work. It's like
Are these his too?
those are his. Yeah,
Yeah.
his characters, which he
stickers.
calls these the geezers, and Chaz's characters are called lads,
The geezers.
and the geezers are and the geezettes, and basically
So cool.
they always look like they're all amped up
So
on coffee
cool.
anyway, right? They have a real coffee vibe. So
He got up and
Dope.
said, "I'm so high," and I said, "Well, that's where you're at."
Yeah, that's where you're at, man.
Oh, perfect.
And Dave's not here, man.
And Dave's not here, so we're living the life, living the Cheech and Chong
Yeah.
life at this point, right? So, do we have any other questions for Odie? Let's see. I saw the Mickey Kush. I'm sure
Yeah.
they were lining up because they know you like to talk a lot. So
Yeah, Odie,
Well,
what are you
yeah,
working
yeah.
on, man? What's new?
Just relax, bro.
Not a lot. Just chilling, working on some greenhouses right at the moment. Design of some with some new controls.
Amazing. What kind of
Pretty cool.
controls?
Yeah, it's a little early for that part.
Okay,
yet,
all right, no problem.
We're
are you talking about like climate control,
climate
or
controls,
like not gonna like control gear as far
no,
as
just
like,
climate controls.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that's what I was wondering if ExotixTech was going to, like, they had like a brain or something coming out that was.
We have some guys that we're going to start working with.
Yeah. What would normally be the best to work with if you didn't? Because like right now, say if you just had 10 of them and you wanted to, what system is the best for sort of? Oh,
None of them are made for cannabis.
no, well, yeah, they're like.
And once you give the controls to somebody, there's room for mistake. This is all inclusive. You can't touch it. You can't change it. It's already set, and it
Wow.
just goes.
Ooh.
That's revolutionary, honestly.
So yeah.
Can't change it even like when you're talking.
Well, there are different depending upon where you're at, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, there's going to be different parameters for where you're putting your greenhouse up.
Right.
But yeah, you can't go in there on your own. You can't. Your head grower can't go in and change anything.
That's cool.
There you go. That's a
That
selling
is cool.
point. Your head grower can't fuck it up.
Right.
Even your own head grower
Yeah.
cannot
Well,
go in and,
yeah.
and do some fucking shenanigans
Right.
too if he leaves.
Right.
It's also,
I mean, that happens more often than not.
yeah,
honestly.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
right?
We're taking high winds into concern and
Oh,
load.
cool.
load factor and all that. So they're going to be pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things you want to overbuild a little bit on everything, just
Yeah.
because it's not. Yeah. Again,
But-
cannabis related stuff, people don't get it. They think, okay, this will work, and then you're like, yeah, it's probably going to tear it up, or you know,
Collapse or
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
so. But when you look at the consumption of electricity for indoor,
Oh, it's crazy.
it's crazy.
Oh, it's
right.
nuts.
Sunshine is great. You get better terpenes, higher cannabinoids, but it needs to be covered.
Yeah. It needs to be dialed in too, or else. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I've
Right.
ran a lot of greenhouses, and there's many issues from humidity to creating a hot box, not having enough ventilation. It's big problems.
So
Well,
plug
and it's also
play.
extreme different conditions, right? You got your, like out here in the valley, it's like dry and windy as fuck,
Windy
right?
as
So
fuck.
that you got to really, like, obviously,
Right.
there was a few situations where people threw down some way too meager of shit, and he's half gone.
Right.
Yeah, like
Halfway
Area
through
420. I mean, just getting pounded with wind and in the middle of the desert, essentially. So.
Yeah.
for sure.
Greenhouse is where it's at. Going to be for the future. And
Well, especially when it comes to like cost effectiveness,
Absolutely.
you're literally talking about wall to wall.
And that's what it's coming down to.
compared to
It's-
like.
Yeah.
As we move forward
cut.
to just the commodity factor of it all, it's all about price.
Well, look at all like vegetables and stuff that are grown now. There's some like micro, indoor gardens and stuff like that, but they're all vertical gardens. And I mean, all of our crops are basically grown outdoors or in greenhouses, right?
Right.
You don't have 1,000-watt HPS grows that are growing tomatoes and for the commercial market.
No.
Yeah, there's no point once you've gotten to a certain scale. It's going to be, greenhouses, well, it's going to be Central Valley pretty much controlling most of it just because they already have the infrastructure
Right.
for it, like wherever the trains pull into, and can be able to go back to the East Coast straight direct. You know what I mean? It's like it's all going to be like off that line too. They're
Right.
literally, there's no point of even the shipping within from wherever to that point of. Because everything is going to go by train. Once everything goes by train, you compare the numbers. You're like, okay, that is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because they're used to truck by truck and paying X amount. And the prices are super high. Now all of a sudden, it's like loading up a train that goes fucking from Central Valley to the East Coast, and then unloads at some. That's
For
what,
stupid cheap compared to 18 wheels, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
Oh, Dave's back.
Dave's back. What happened, Dave? Yetis for the Yetis. Little dead in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey.
I'm sure Odie filled for me while I was gone.
I had to shut him down. He was getting out of control.
Really.
As usual.
You missed it.
See, your mic is red hot right now.
I know,
It's
right?
glowing.
I know, glowing.
That's what goes down. And then
I love this backdrop, Mark. By the
it's
way,
great.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
What do you mean? You have a problem with it?
No, I mean, I dig it. I really dig it. I like it.
Well, if you
better
come
than-
here, you'll see it live. Live and in person. We had Chaz. Chaz always entertains.
Yeah.
It's always good.
I can't help but close my eyes and see them in front of the microphones going.
He was hammered. He was hammered. If you go back to that New Year's edition show, it is super long, so you might not have a hard time finding it, but it was definitely it had to be muted. It was one of those must be muted moments, right?
Oh man, but it was great that they didn't stop. Even though we muted them, they were just, we're going for the dab now.
I might.
Double tap the bottom button.
I gotta load it.
Wait a sec. No, it's loaded.
Oh, it's loaded. Locked and loaded. What are you giving me, Dave?
Yours.
Your own dab. That's the most safe thing possible. You should be used to it. There shouldn't be a problem.
That's the carb.
Give me a break.
That's it.
Go ahead. It's
Ready to roll.
Don't hold the carb yet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Dave.
I saw
Thank
your
you.
thumb on it.
Dave's a little. Dave
before.
is a little. Like, yeah.
I saw his thumb on the fucking button.
He's ready. He's trying trigger
He's
ready.
ready, dude. He's ready. You can't play.
That's what I like about these is that it has
I love this device.
that carb is definitely weight because it's one of the problems of a lot of them.
I'm gonna load it up
is
again in a
clearing them
minute.
properly. Like they always have a bunch of smoke, and then you're kind of like. This one you get the proper clearance and clearance. Clear.
Well, that in the case too. I didn't know about the case. Where is it?
Case?
I love how
cases are
like
cool.
if you spill it, it doesn't spill the water.
Well, it's got this.
It's
Oh,
a
that makes
game-
me happy.
Game changer.
That makes me so happy.
And then that goes inside here. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
as long as you don't
You can
flip
travel.
the bag over, you're good to go. So you have to be aware of your surroundings, right,
Yeah,
Dave?
it's super cool.
It is. I'm gonna say the case is waterproof.
Yeah, inside
and
if you're
inside it. If it's in correctly,
you'll be fine.
you'll be fine.
Yes.
Right.
But if
You
you,
know.
just willy-nilly throw it in the back of your car, like, man, you think it's all great, then you'll be.
I've seen a
so-
couple people with water
Yeah.
come out, but not too many people.
Yeah. Well, you just kind of be, like I said, be aware of your bag. But
Yeah, no.
but in
they're
general, it's
definitely not
definitely
aware of their back.
it's definitely a game changer. And the key to this thing that's the best compared to the other ones is the fact that the resin goes down, the smoke goes up, it keeps it separate, and you don't have to clean it after every single fucking hit, because that's where the other one is like, you're like, oh, okay, you're really into it in the beginning, and then one day you're like, I don't have my Q-tips, and then you're like, chaz it a little bit, and then you go back to try to clean it. It's really hard to get it right where
Well,
it
and the
was.
station too is sweet. I mean, you can hold all your dabs and your tools, and I mean, we're holding yo tips in here. They fit perfectly.
Yeah, but they
Super
have
cool.
a little. They fit right in that little.
They
hole.
have a yo hole.
Because that's my
Yo-
biggest problem at home is that I
Yo-ho.
just have jars full of stuff,
Oh, Garrett's here.
Howdy. There he is.
Sorry, he's always yelling at me, going.
Welcome,
What?
Garrett
Welcome,
from Pegasus
Garrett.
Bags. How you doing, man?
Howdy, doing great. How are y'all?
We're good. We're
Good
good.
to have you, brother.
Dave just went and
Glad
had
to
his
be
little
here.
has a moment to himself in the car to Ooh.
down to earth moment.
Now he's back.
Now
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Later, Chaz.
No, it wasn't,
Honestly, I'm feeling on the neck on the top floor right now.
You just spoke at a Texas mushroom conference, correct?
That's tomorrow.
Oh, look at
I'll be talking about Pestilodiopsis microspora, which is a fungi that was discovered in the Amazon that can eat plastic with no other nutrients.
Wow.
And that's important.
That's cool.
Because everything else, like oysters will eat plastic too, but they also need like some grains to eat off of, and they use plastic as like a side dish. Microspora will just have plastic as a main course.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
That's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
On the downside, it's an endofungus, so it requires, it's a symbiotic fungus, so it requires a plant to do symbiosis with in order to produce fruit bodies and spores, which will lead to more genetic augmentation and make it a little bit easier to access the genome as an amateur cultivator. So next, it is a challenge to figure out which plant in the Amazon, out of all the plants in the Amazon, does it want to do symbiosis with. But that's not an obstacle. It's just a hurdle to be cleared. I'm very, very optimistic about the next couple of years of this.
That's cool. That's going to solve a lot of big problems. As you know, plastics are a huge issue.
Yeah, it's all, it all goes back to the Phoebus cartel and whole planned obsolescence. Basically, in the late 1800s, a bunch of light bulb manufacturers said, hey, our light bulbs are way too good. We need to make them break more often so people buy more light bulbs, because nobody was buying them. And so they had, they still, today, you can see there's museums and holdings and stuff where they have light bulbs set up so they last only a certain number of hours before they go away. Now there's, they're gone. They're not really gone, but it's pretty incredible that there are light bulbs that were made in the 1870s that are still burning today,
right?
Just because they advanced that quickly. And then all of a sudden some asshole in a suit decided, well, we need to make more money. We need people to buy more light bulbs more often.
It's like the guys who make headphones. It's like the guy who make headphones. They're like, yeah, if we just, make them just kind of cheap enough that they'll just break. And you're like, why are they breaking out the same spot every fucking time?
Well, same with cars, right? I mean, cars back in the day were
Chargers, all of
super
them.
strong. And, you see a lot of them still running. But, nowadays they're all aluminum and, basically filled with electronics that never fail. Yeah.
I have there's a little baffle I have an Impala. And there's a little plastic baffle that controls where the air goes, if it's the vent or the defrost or the floor. And it broke. This is the third one that I've been on. It's an $800 fix because it takes 5.5 hours to take apart the dashboard so that you can get to it. And that's on the easy one. On the passenger side, on the driver's side, it's a 16-hour job.
Jesus, yeah, it's crazy, right?
Crazy.
Or just a little fucking thing of plastic that has shitty teeth on its gears that teeth will knock off and it'll just click, 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 click every time you start the car.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Absurd. Yeah. So I just bought a 94 Ranger. Totally different.
Totally.
Completely different. Just every aspect of that. It's a massive engine bay, horribly inefficient design, but you can fix it. If you got a tool chest and you built Legos when you were a kid, you can figure it out and you can fix it.
I think those ones have the sliders for the HVAC too. I'm not sure, but yeah, they
put
the knobs in. Yeah, the knobs killed everything. Yeah.
I'm going to go completely the crazy direction and say, well, what happens when this gets released and it starts eating all the plastic that's in like a stint in someone's heart? Is it going to go there?
Oh yeah, it's gone gray goo on everybody. It's gone full gray goo. Everybody.
It needs a symbiotic.
Right. So we're still talking a couple of years to
how many? 2 or 3?
Yeah, 3 or 4. Less than 10. So about the same timeline as a sturdy tree, for example. Which that's not nothing, but it's still much better than a couple of centuries to a couple of millennia, which is what we have right now. So I think if we can get it down to a couple of years, nature can meet us halfway, and we can all kind of live in harmony again.
Living in harmony with plastic again. natural plastic. I mean, that's the crazy part, is that it was all natural in the beginning, and we were all making it with plants, and then we were like, maybe
we can fuck it up.
We can use this oil stuff, and that was just like,
it was just resin at that time, right? Like plant resin.
Yeah, and like bakelite, like the old phones and stuff. Those were all plant based, the original ones. So.
Well, and it's not inherently toxic. There's nothing inherently poisonous about plastic other than it's just a weird shape of carbon that nothing in nature knows how to do anything with. So it goes back to like the end of the Carboniferous period. There was just like stacks and stacks of dead trees that were piling up and were perfectly preserved because literally nothing could eat them. Nothing had evolved to eat lignin, which is the structure inside of a tree that makes it tough and rigid, as opposed to cellulose that we're all familiar with.
Sure.
That's more like grass. Mm-hmm. But so it gets into how fungi evolved to digest lignin, which is very similar to a lot of different plastics, and that's why there's all these different fungi. There's 200 different species, more than 200 different species that can digest plastic. Like I said, oysters are a big one, and oysters are also delicious. There's, Paul Stamets put out that his famous thing he always spends time talking about, where he put inoculated oyster grains onto an oil spill, and it cleaned up faster than any technological cleanup could do. And it also formed the bottom of a food chain. So as this mycelium is growing, it's feeding all these other microorganisms that are attacking it and using it for food. Those microorganisms get eaten by the bigger and the bigger and the bigger, until finally you have plants growing and birds coming in to peck at the seeds and the bugs and the critters and whatever. And so this toxic spill turns into a paradise.
Smorgasbord. Smorgasbord for the.
It's a Vegas buffet.
Yeah.
So
including the polyvinyl chloride and all those horrible chemicals that have been spilling from train derailments in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, Can it eat DDT?
Also DDT. I was just looking at it. I need to pull it up. There is a fungus that will get rid of DDT, as well as atrazine, which is the everybody knows the Alex Jones.
We know where there's a lot of DDT at the moment.
Yeah, is there any chance we can just spread this on Washington?
The whole state, the entire state of Washington.
Cover the mountain.
No, but apparently there was a whole 18 farms had a recall of 100,000.
A little bit of
100,000 plus pounds of THC cannabis that has tested positive for DDT because of some shit sprayed in the 60s, 50s and 60s. So there's a remediating project over there.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's true that there's a fungus for every fucking problem, right? I mean, there's definitely a
Phanereocretate crisporidium, which I butchered that name because it's not.
Because none of us know. None of us can even think about saying you got it wrong. So.
Yeah. No, it's fine though. But they ran it in some nutrient deficient cultures and produced disulfol and DBP, which is able to break down DDT into a non-toxic byproduct.
Wow.
Atrazine is everybody knows the famous, like the Alex Jones joke about chemicals that make the frogs gay. Mm-hmm. Atrazine is an actual pesticide. It doesn't make the frogs gay, it makes them trans. Because frogs have a survival mechanism that when they're, as anybody who saw Jurassic Park knows, when they're presented with a single-sex environment, they will, on their own, they will just change genders to keep up the population.
I mean, chickens can do that too, right? If you take the rooster out, then after a while, if there's the right enough time, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, how the fuck
doesn't cannabis do that if you leave it alone? Right?
Yeah, there's a couple of different animals that can do that, but it's specific to amphibians because they go through a bunch of hormonal changes anyway when they go from like tadpole to adult. So this is like sort of gears into that. They're able to take that survival mechanism.
Right.
The short version is that atrazine mimics a masculine frog environment. So the frogs tend to feminize and turn into female frogs, which is obviously this leads to population collapse. But there is Tremates maxima is one fungus among several that have been able to completely neutralize atrazine in sandy and loamy soil.
How long do you think that process would be, though, when you say neutralize it? Like, what do you think?
It depends on the environment. It depends on temperature and everything. In the labs, it was able to neutralize it within a matter of months.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, in lab conditions again.
Right.
There's not like a whole lot of money in that, so the research is kind of just passion projects by different people. And obviously, these same corporations that are profiting off of this kind of stuff have a vested interest in suppressing this technology, just like with biodegradables. So they tend to overly criticize this stuff and say, like, oh, well, you didn't submit it to peer review. Oh, you didn't use laboratory conditions. Oh, you didn't have these variables taken care of, instead of just saying, hey, this is a crazy motherfucker that threw spaghetti at the wall and some stuff stick. Maybe we should take a look at that. There's a lot more incentive for them to just completely break that down. And so that's where I come in, as just sort of the guy who won't shut up about these kind of things.
You don't say.
No way.
Yeah, right.
Yes. No, that's cool. And then who else out there is doing, is there like I'd imagine that the idea of using fungus to eat plastic must be there must be different types. Like you said, there's 200 types. Is there other people focusing on other kinds?
Yeah.
And saying like, okay, we got.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with oysters out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people doing different work with that. Just because it's a lot easier to make profit from oyster mushrooms, because you can still sell them as a as a food substance. Because like I said, plastic, there's nothing inherently toxic about it, unless you're getting plastics that were made with like heavy metal binding agents.
Right.
Because metals will bioaccumulate in the fruit bodies, so it can still clean metal out of soil and things like that, but it'll transport that metal to the fruit body, so you can't eat those fruits. It's super concentrated in there.
Yeah, I doubt it would be like great selling point where you're like, these are fed plastic, man. These are super tasty. But I can see it maybe for animal feed or something like that, where they would get away with it and be like, okay, it's cheapy.
Absolutely.
Only people will eat those animals afterwards.
Some more bioaccumulation problems.
That's okay.
They do. That's the scary thing. The USDA, our wonderful benefactors and overlords, have decided that up to 40% of animal feed can be just scrap plastic.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So think of like grocery stores that throw out their food. They'll just throw them in the machine that makes like the feed pellets. They'll just throw it in there with the wrapper and everything.
What?
Oh, this is uncomfortable.
Well, that's terrible.
They buy grass-fed from small farms.
Dave.
Well, I mean, they haven't been very conscious about what they put in feed for a long time. I mean, it's like whoever was at a board meeting and was like, so what are we doing with all the dead cows that are lying around here? I was like, dude, we should probably put them in the feed.
We start by not calling them dead. They're just not eaten yet.
They just fell over and died, and we don't really know why. But if we've put them in the food, it might help the other ones and maybe not get that. And all of a sudden, you have got mad cow, and you're like going like, yeah, that's kind of how that starts, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It's like, well, how did this happen?
It explains the smell off I-70 there.
Ooh.
So if you're like anti-mushroom, you should be aware Garrett's coming to town and he's going to find you. If you're a legislator who is like shirking their duty, or you're on some committee and you're thinking you're going to do it in private, he knows who you are. He's coming. I mean, that's what I hear. This is his skill set.
Accountability. Absolutely.
So
they need people like you at the table.
I spent 5 years doing professional lobbying. It's insane how many politicians are committing federal felonies by concealing their actions and doing things in closed doors. That's some like big jail time if they keep things from the public like that. So the way they get around that is they just hide it. You have to go to different websites and different sites upon sites upon sites to get into these places.
Yeah.
But my Google foo is strong. So that's not really a problem for me.
Google food, that's funny.
Yeah. I think the landlady Katie wants in. So if
I definitely want in, and cool. I definitely think I know some people that would really like to speak with you more about this. some people here in Colorado. Is that where I didn't hear if you're here in Colorado.
No,
I'm based out of Texas.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, but I'll be coming up there for 420.
Come up, definitely. We'll get you connected with some folks, and these are really good conversations that need to be had.
Good.
And so I'm grateful that somebody's having them. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Garrett is the proprietor of Pegasus Bags, and if those of you out there need grow bags, you got to go to PegasusBags.com. You enter DunnDeal at checkout.
Okay, I'm excited to try
How much
these.
do they get off?
They get 10% off their whole order.
10%.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If they don't have their own grains, they can go to, it's a super secret link that's only for the listeners. PegasusBags.com/product/DunnDeal to pre-order pre-sterilized mushroom grow bags.
Are you going to bring any with you when you come for 420?
Frontier doesn't allow carry-on bags, so no. But
Okay, well, we may have an address you could just send some to, and if you wanted us to help take care of you
Nobody's
on that.
listening, so don't worry about it.
Wait, what
We're
substrate?
kidding. Yeah,
Seri-
totally.
What's some substrate between friends? Come on, let's be serious.
Whatever.
Exactly.
It'll be straw because you can grow a lot of different things from straw.
Okay.
And, Texas has very specific mushroom laws, but they're still.
Well, I'm talking blue oysters. I'm
Around.
growing some blue oysters and some red oysters
go.
in my compost, so that's what I'm talking.
Yeah. There you go. Oysters
Sir.
love straw.
I don't know what you were insinuating.
Well,
I don't even need to say allegedly. I'm already growing oysters in my compost, some lion's mane. I got some pictures I'm going to share.
But that line, what's some substrate between friends, is the line I've heard Vinny use as a pickup line in a bar.
That's
once
funny.
or twice.
That's good.
But
What the heck?
Exactly.
That's a t-shirt. What's some substrate between friends?
Ooh, yeah.
At least
like
a pin.
A bumper sticker.
I like
Will
it.
will you repeat the super secret link again?
Please,
Because-
can we put that in chat?
Yeah. PegasusBags.com/product/DunnDeal.
There you go. Double slash.
There you go, Dungles.
double slashes. Odie's got it. He's already typed it
Cubensis
in.
will also grow in straw. Not that I would advocate for anyone to do that, unless you're in a legal area where you can do that. But again, what you do with your own product on your own property is none of my business.
That's also
That's
a t-shirt.
that's a good stance to have too.
That is also
Look at
a
this.
t-shirt.
It's like t-shirt
That is-
central.
Yeah.
Right? Just start from-
I hope somebody's
Where's the
writing
press?
this down.
Yeah, no, nobody ever does. Nobody ever does.
I'm gonna
You're all
start.
like, "This is great." Oh man, that's the. and
We
the
have to-
next day.
Go
No
back.
one
When
can
did that
remember.
happen on the show?
No one can remember. what
No,
you're talking
Cece and I are pretty good at that. We're pretty good at remembering our ideas. We
I
try
think-
to
I
like
think-
write them down in the minute so we can come back to those.
I've gone back to like where I've had like it said t-shirts, and I look and it's just pretty much blank, and like somehow I thought I did it, but I didn't do it. Like I wrote the word t-shirts, but I didn't put any actual t-shirts under the thing t-shirts. I was like, oh, that was a great.
That's a
move.
Seinfeld episode where he writes it down and the maid throws it out. I had a great idea. It was a great joke. Such a great joke. Oh, and you fucked it up.
That's funny.
All right, Garrett, what else do we got? Who should be really worried? I mean, is Prop 122 going to get gutted? Are they going to pull the home grow? Is that what it really came down to? Is it that vague?
It's really vague. It might get gutted.
They want to.
They do. They
You
really
know
do.
they want to.
Oh,
They
yeah,
want
because it's-
to control who has access to everything. It doesn't matter what it is. They want to control who has access to it. So I think that's why these conversations are also crucial, because a lot of people don't even know that. There's so many people that, one, they voted for something that if they really did read all of those pages, they don't really know what all of it means, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so
Obviously.
the more that's scary.
Well, we did get a legal opinion on the home grow clause, and he just went.
that was
so.
it.
That was the legal opinion. So
we knew that was coming.
We did know that was coming. That's why
Shout out to Jim.
there's more of us that believe that this is something that we really should be moving forward in a thoughtful, meaningful way.
Well, what can
With
we all
real
do?
input from the community.
And the pushback from the government side, the first of all, I always, whenever I deal with government, I always go by malice's razor, right? Never ascribe to malice what could be blamed on incompetence. And so I don't think that it's a adversarial perspective where they're just wanting to just handicap the psychedelic community. I think it's more they want to cover their own asses. They want to make
They
sure
don't
that
understand.
if they pass
They
a
don't
bill,
know. It's like
They don't know.
that they need
So,
people like you
let
at
the
the
doctors
table.
do it.
Yeah.
So Garrett, this is breaking news. It says the mushroom kit with the /DunnDeal/ thing is sold out.
Yes. Here, let me go ahead and change that real quick. Sorry about that. Yes, so it's available for pre-order. They will not ship until next week.
Okay.
But go ahead and order away. These will be in 3-pound bags of sterilized straw and millet for a generalized approach that can grow anything that doesn't require lignin.
Well, I'm looking at it. It still says sold out. So what do you
Look
have
at
to
the
do?
worst customer ever. Man. Like you're like the guy on the phone.
Refresh.
I don't see it. It's not happening.
But it works for me. Have you tried turning it off and turning it on?
I was literally just gonna say, did you try turning it off?
Turn your phone sideways.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
It's live.
All right. It's live.
Yes.
Hey, chat. You can go check it again, chat.
And you can buy with Amazon Pay too, so you can get that. If you have an Amazon card, you can get your cash back on there.
Oh, look at
Bezos, give me money. All right. So what I would recommend to counteract the governmental pushback for to going against the home growers would be to create a separate license for specific, like a license to cultivate type of thing, where in order to get your LTC, you have to go through a process that teaches you about just the very basics of harm reduction and trip sitting and things like that. This would be a way to make it not so that it's like a Wild West where just anybody can do anything at whatever amount. So the government would be able to track who's doing these sorts of things. That'll put ease off of them, because what they're trying to avoid, it's not that now the lobbyists and the advocates, they're trying to gut and to handicap the psychedelics community. The government, the politicians, again, never attribute to malice what can be blamed on incompetence. They just don't want somebody to go out and have a bad time and then blame the government on it. And it comes back to their, well, they passed the bill, so I'm going to run against that person next year. It's all about job security for them. So by creating this licensing aspect, it would shift responsibility from the government to the individual. And at that point, it's a lot more palatable for them. The other thing that's concerning is just the fact that these lobbyists, they're there all the time. These companies can pay people to do nothing but talk to politicians, whereas an ordinary citizen has to take time off of work. They have to use their PTO or a personal day, and they have to go and, maybe they live in the opposite corner, like out in the corner of Colorado, and they have to drive all the way into Denver. And it's a whole thing. So that makes it much more difficult, just inherently so, for the average citizen. I would definitely recommend in-person visits if you're in or around the capital area. Just go and talk to some legislators. That's literally their job, is to sit there and listen to you talk. That's what they're supposed to do. So you're not imposing on anyone.
Odie. No, I agree. I agree with almost everything you said, except for what their actual intentions are. To me, I'm of the perspective that their intentions are to block your access to God, Christ consciousness. That is their intention, and it is malice, and they don't even know that. So that's where the ignorance of what you said comes in. They don't even understand so much of these sacred medicines, that this isn't just mushrooms. This isn't just some magic, all the propaganda that's around this and other medicines, ayahuasca, all of these other plants that have been here long before us. Mm-hmm. These microbes, these plants, this soil, all of this stuff was here way before us. And so I think I've been down there. It will be there long after us. These sure. Like you said, this fungus is going to eat us. It's going to digest us. And so I've been down there and I've lobbied. I went and I did the whole thing. I went and I spoke for cannabis to be able to be spoken about by anesthesiologists, so pain patients could actually know that was an option. A lot of people don't even know that this is an option to be able to deal with deep trauma. Most people don't even know that they're walking around with deep ancestral trauma. You say that to somebody, you're not even hearing that term until 5-6 years into intense psychotherapy that's heavily medicated with MAOIs, you know? And you have access to something that you can literally grow in your closet that could change your perspective on the entire world, entire universe. Consciousness, you can really tap into that. And I think from the beginning of time, this is just a repetition of the pattern of people that have the haves trying to tell all of the have-nots how they're supposed to be living and how their life needs to be. You know, we all inherently know what is best for us. Our need is a big word. We know that we need shelter. We know that we need clean water. We know that we need clean food. These are all things that we all should have access to as human beings. And that goes to say with all of these plant medicines too. Our ancestors, no, you didn't have to tell somebody how much you were growing. No, that's wild to even have that concept. So in my mind, I would love to have more of the sacred medicine holders, like some more people, some more natives at the table on this, because and we can also do that without even when you talk to the legislators, a lot of them, they don't even really understand so much of this. So even talking to them about lion's mane, talking to them about all these other reishi, agarikon, all these other really cool mushrooms that they may have heard of recently, you know, but so many people have sick relatives. And yes, a dose of psilocybin could change so much for you, and I advocate for that. However, I also advocate for these other incredible medicinal mushrooms that really, when you talk to them, you go down to the Capitol and you bring them some lion's mane tea, or you go down there and you bring them some explain to them, bring some white papers with you, you know, bring some really thoughtful material for them. Dude, they'll listen to you. They want to listen. They want people to tell. They have no idea what's going on. So much, they're being thrown so many things that if you do have a moment to go down there, reach out to me. I'll go down there with you. I'll totally go lobby with you, because
he's coming to town.
This is
we've already got. You're going to be a reporter.
Oh yeah,
on
you
the
just
scene.
you just volunteered for a few days.
See how I do that? I do that.
Right into it.
What are you doing the rest of April?
Right.
I love it. No, these are just really crucial conversations right now, especially, you know, because they are wanting to change the language around this, and so there's more of us than there is them.
Well, that's
a great point. The religious angle. The Native American Church is able to grow peyote when no one else can, for example. So if they obviously I'm a 6'3" white guy with shaved head and blue eyes. I'm not the one to get
Hey, you have a voice though, dude. They listen to you. They
Yes.
listen to you, and you're educated, you're eloquent. You know, don't discount yourself. That sounded like a little bit of imposter syndrome, my friend. You are well spoken, and it's an honor to sit with you and hear you chat.
Thank you. I was just using that as a way to say it's not my place to try and call the Native Americans for help. Or try and impose on it. It just feels
you're good. You're good.
We're all family.
Yep.
You know, you just planted those seeds. Maybe you don't feel like it's your right. However, I've sat with the medicine, and I've sat with everybody's welcome at the table, you know, because everybody really does at the end of the day need to live on this earth, need to drink this water. Everybody's sick with something, and this could benefit everybody. This isn't something that could just benefit one specific community, you know. There's trauma in all of us, deep trauma in all of us. So when you sit at someone's...
Dave's
Dave's
holding...
Odie's 85 years old. Look, he doesn't look a day over 50. Oh, I've got deep trauma. Let's not go there.
Dave, one day we're going to get you to sit with the medicine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you need... Listen, what we need is a gallery setting with a team of psychiatrists up above who can all sort of collaborate.
With lots of little bright lights.
No,
bright lights and lab
you need to do dieta for a month, 2 months. Set some serious intentions.
Thank you, doctor.
I'm telling you.
Hey, buildasoil.com.
We have to give away. Actually, we have to give away light, and we have to do.
Let's do our shout outs and give away a light.
Yeah, and we have Odie right here. Odie's going to give it away.
Stay with us. Stay with us, Garrett.
Odie's
Don't go
giving
anywhere.
it away.
Oh, Mateo, he didn't want to be here?
No, he's not here.
I see.
He sent Odie.
855-877-SOIL. You have to call them. Whatever. You have to call them. You can't use the website, even though it's buildthesoil.com. You can find
use
the
the
product
website
you
to
want.
figure out what you want.
There you go. But give them a call.
Call it in.
And tell me you want the DunnDeal. It's 10% off. They'll be aware of it. If they're not, just speak nice and they'll find Jeremy and...
He said he's got it dialed in now.
They got it dialed in.
We're not going to worry about that.
And anything you need for growing, really anything. And if you're
Yeah.
not following them on Instagram, you really should, because
Living Soil.
Holy moly.
And obviously our buddies from Fermented Plant Extracts, who's in town.
Miles.
I was wearing his
I think
shirt
he's having
earlier.
something tonight.
Miles is putting together, I think it's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
The sesh or whatever.
Yeah, it's all tomorrow. Yeah, but check him out. Which tastes good, but also buildthesoil.com, of course, for all your essential needs in the growing world and organic growing. And awesome group. Check them out online too. They got great educational videos. Jeremy's always
They do. They had their blog has all kinds of cool stuff on there.
he's on point. So check them out. And of course, if you want to just go get some cannabis and you happen to be a medical patient, and in Colorado Springs is a lot. I know it's a lot of requirements, but if you just happen to be that magic person, you need to get down to.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much if you're a smoker and you're in Colorado Springs, you're probably a medical patient.
you have to.
You have to be. Well, no, you have to be down.
Yeah, you have to.
Totally.
So that's just the way it is. So you go to Green Farms Med, you can place a pre-order. You can go down. JW has filled the shelves with like the leading Colorado brands right now.
He's got Green Dot. He's getting all the hype, but actually worth its strains.
Yeah, the good
And he's got that thing, right? That you
Turbo Core.
the Turbo Core you shove into your joint.
Kind of Turbo Core patch little
toothpick.
Greenfarmsmed.com.
Oh yes, we had Colin on the show a couple days.
Kind of reminds us of JW.
It was really funny. After the show, I called. I said, "Man, it was like I was talking to J-Dub." Very similar, but amazing product line from them. They're pushing that Alchemist. We might have to check that out soon because.
So, like I said, Colin, if there is a scratch or dent product or something we can take on for, and take us 6 months to sell it, but we'll do it.
No,
we'll do it.
They have some great products. Their trimmers are super gentle, and you can actually pay attention the entire time because there's no hidden. It's not like put it in one end, it pops out the other end, and you hope that it worked. It's like you can actually see
You're
it.
watching it.
You can actually see it trimming, and I watch people, and I'm just like I put it down really, really low, and it's just you can hear it actually doing his job, and you can open up the drawer
What
and
is
see
that
it.
rock and roll in the background?
Vinny's rocking out. I don't know. He won't stop.
It's Holy Roller, but
It's okay. Oh, he's trying to get it. I see one guy out there who gets it. No one in the world.
And he's in the studio. Telly, did you get that?
No.
Yeah,
Nobody
can't
knows.
hear it.
Holy Roller, making sense.
Oh
now.
yeah, so he makes joints. It's
a monster.
Yeah, that thing is like a beast right there. You're like, okay, so
How many did he say that made?
50 billion.
I think it was like
Enough for Colorado.
301 gram joints per hour.
300 an hour. Okay.
Oh, that's an
3,000. Sorry,
3,000.
3,000.
Yeah. I missed a zero.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We
what,
can do it.
zeros don't really matter.
We could do it.
No, but that's a beast of a machine, and it's all like to the 0.25. What does it say? Less than 0.25% variance.
Less than 2.5% weight variance.
So things like out of control. But in general, all their machines are super well made and made in Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Made in the city of sin. So if you have to
Just
go
enter
get
DunnDeal at checkout.
Get your machine. You may have to hang out in Vegas.
Play some craps.
That's the worst.
Yeah, he said hit him up if you're ever in Vegas.
That's right.
Tell him
That's
you heard about him on the Dunn show.
Well, no, of course. You got to get your deal.
Gotta.
And, of course, they have their bucket deals, which are 10% off on those. And those are just like put the harvest bucket right on top of a 5-gallon.
Or you can have Mark come to your house and you can pay him $65 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody can afford their friends
That's the
anymore.
going rate.
It's not happening. Yeah,
Nobody can afford their friends anymore.
Yeah. So you got to get the bucket. It's worth 3 marks.
It's 1 friend per bucket. So if you have normally you had 6 people over, just get 6 buckets and
you're done.
That's probably the best deal. You're $350, so not bad.
Apothecary Farms.
shit.
Oh, Mark's favorite place. Tell us, Mark.
What'd you get? What's
Colorado and Oklahoma's concentrate focused dispensary, where you can get Ambrosia, their Diamonds and Sauce product. They have live hash rosin, ACFSE, infused pre-rolls. There's
Fire.
5 locations in Colorado, and I believe there's. Oh wait. Yeah, I think there's 4 or 5.
Some GMO root beer rosin here.
4 in Colorado, 5 in Oklahoma.
And they seem to be doing a lot of collabs with 14er Boulder.
Yeah. Now on their solvent list side, you can definitely get
peach pie.
14er rosin, and also they have 14er flour.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can definitely go
really
in
good.
there and get them in the jars.
This one nails it.
Don't they have some kind of
Peach
like
pie.
$25 a month or
good.
25
Nails it
cents
on
a
the smell,
month?
though.
Something.
Well, if
I
you
thought they-
sign over with them, you get a member gram. So you
Right.
you get to buy one, get one free,
Yeah.
essentially,
Okay.
Pretty
every
peachy.
month.
They have a
Yes.
special running right
Is that
now,
what-
I believe, for
Peach
8 grams out the door for
Nice.
$80.
Well, I mean, I think that's
That's-
shatter
that's-
or wax. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes.
Good point
Just
for
go
sure.
check their menu. They have an app, so you can.
We're loving that one. The peach pie.
Smells really good.
Super good.
They're gearing up for some 420 deals, so check it out. ApothecaryFarms.com.
right?
Makes my mouth water.
Wow.
Gonna have to go get some
Wow.
peach cobbler.
And if you want to smoke or if you want to dab on some of that,
Everybody
Apothecary
take
Farms.
their go out and take a dab off the go right now.
Give me,
Come
that
on.
swag. Give me
For
some
me.
of that peach swag right there.
The peach swag.
You just said it was the best thing out here, and you didn't refer to it as swag.
I just say, give me the peach swag.
is
Yeah,
my-
That's just what he
like,
says.
It's
Go to
not
dabx.com.
swag. It's great. Swag.
Enter DunnDeal at checkout. You get 20% off the $300 go, which is already a steal at $300.
These things are cool.
It.
That's the best.
Everyone was watching you dab out of it, so that was the best marketing ever. Cleans easy when you have to do it every few weeks. Nothing like cleaning another rig.
Oh, more bad music? What's
More-
going on now?
what is it, Vinny?
This is the
Why don't you just
go.
play the Peanuts thing?
Rocket.
Oh, this
Oh,
is
God. You're so cerebral tonight. Are you? Did he give you a Yeti, too?
No.
I haven't taken those yet. I'm very excited for those.
Oh, trust me, they worked.
I'm very.
I gave you 2 times, though.
I'm so
Watch out.
so excited.
So you can also get the Rocket, which is interesting thing. The Go should be the Rocket, and the Rocket should be the Go, but that's just the way it is. They didn't talk to me before they did it. But it is the best portable electronic dab rig, in my opinion, on the market.
Is it charged?
No, it's your satellite of love, bro.
No, this one isn't.
No, of
No.
course. It
That
never
thing's
is.
cool.
Maybe it is. No, maybe it is. Just check it.
There's a dab in there.
Might be.
Someone loaded one up and then probably realized it was dead.
dabx.com. And they're going to be on the show. And in fact, we'll probably do a giveaway next month.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
we'll figure out how to do that and what we need to do. But yeah, we should. We'll probably do that. So ozocoffee.com. Enter DunnDeal23 at checkout. You get 20% off your order. You should just get the subscription. Just enter the code once, and just it should
Recurring.
pre-populate. And buy the monthly subscription. It is absolutely worth it. They just got back from Guatemala, so I'm looking forward to whatever they did there on the shelves in a few weeks. They forge relationships with family farms across the country.
Didn't even heat the dab.
This one's ready.
Oh, okay.
And then they have the beans shipped to Colorado, and they roast it on a 1959 roaster that Odie
On a unicycle.
is,
while working his mustache. I'm telling you, it's the most hipster shit you've ever had.
DunnDeal 23. You got to put the 23. Oh, look at that.
Oh, I like that.
14er.
That was good.
Yeah, turn it off. There we go. 14erboulder.com. Make sure you place a pre-order. I don't know if the DunnDeal code is still working. You can certainly try. I don't know. Maybe Mark will check it out. Their flour is on point. The rosin is amazing. Tonight we have mac and cheese and something over there.
Lucky Charms.
And Lucky Charm. Oh, it's fantastic. And it is quite inexpensive.
Excuse me.
Please.
They're running tons of specials right now. This is where you pull up the menu and we can take a look at the menu. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
they partner with
For all our
Apothecary
under
Extracts.
21-year-old viewers.
I want to try one of these.
I don't know.
Got
about
it.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
Next.
Do one of those deals where you're like,
I'm fucking zooted.
Is this still going?
Stashlogics with an
Oh,
X.com.
that's pretty.
Enter DunnDeal at checkout. I think you get 20% off your order. You need an expectation of privacy in the state of Colorado. And with the Stashlogics, you have that. It has a combination lock.
I have a couple of these. They're nice.
they're really good. And I mean, it's almost a necessity now because we're all got weed on us, so better have lock that shit up.
Right.
Save that one.
I have a couple of those little bags. Yeah, people think they're the.
Said.
Oh gosh,
that's what he said.
Next.
Oh, whoa.
Stash Logics with an X.
How's the peach?
Oh, look who it is. Pegasus
Look
Bags.
who it is. Garrett.
Oh, this guy.
Do your ad.
This fucking guy.
Pegasus Bags is the place to get unicorn bags at non-wholesale quantities. So if you don't want to buy 1,000 bags all at once, come on over, buy them like 10, 20, whatever. Also, you will be supporting plastic-eating fungi research. This has been a pet project of mine for a couple of years, and this is like that link in particular will be Pestalodiopsis microspora. I'm very close to releasing a modified version of king trumpet oyster, so we'll have 2 plastic-eating fungi. Eventually, I want to get up to 20. Long-term goal, I want to have all 200. They're like Pokemon. I got to collect them all. But for right now,
You will be the guy who's starts
I
the
see
whole
this in your
end of the
future.
end of the universe. Like,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Garrett, when you-
so like I had all these plastic eating fungi, and now I don't know
The world
what's
ended.
going on. It's like they all kind of came into one.
I had a shiny oyster and somebody stole it from me. It's worth a lot of money now.
It's gonna be like
What's
Stranger
growing
Things
out
or
of that
something
guy's
where that
face?
fucking thing just.
I actually did get my Charizard stolen when I was 13. I'm still a little upset about
shit.
that. But that's okay.
Yeah, none
So
of the
Garrett-
Pokemon are the same anymore either.
When you come to town, we're going to sit down and we're going to discuss NFCs with you because it really should be the way you start doing your payment transactions and distribution. So
At least offer it.
Get ready
Yeah.
for that conversation.
Yeah, I'm for it. I'm on Shopify right now just because of the ease of use.
Yep. The devil.
PegasusBags.com.
That's right.
That's right.
So if you're a California company, California producer, and you have flour on hand that you want to turn into just amazing pre-rolls, because I wasn't a pre-roll fan till we tried their products, reach out to Bangers, and they will hook you up with equipment. They will actually no, they don't do equipment. What you do is they do the processing for you, and then they give you joints back because their technology is that good. So reach out to bangers.com, I believe it is.
I believe it is.
Thank you.
Oh, speaking of believing.
Oh my goodness.
The man himself.
Happened.
The man
himself.
The man himself.
I think he created CBD.
Yeah, oh, well. His mom thought so. So there you go.
Exactly.
He invented cannabis and pizza toppings.
More science on the Adam Dunn Show.
Definitely in the comments, let them know you're going to try and get the DunnDeal. I don't know if it's still.
Yeah,
it is. It's a twofer. You get a twofer.
twofer.
It is a
All right.
twofer. So any products twofer, but you got to give them a direct message that you need that
ADS.
The
The DunnDeal. But in general, that tiger's blood is amazing, and all the CBD products. It's like one of those ones where if somebody needs it and you give it to them, they come back to you the next day like, damn, that shit worked. Also, he's a pet friendly one too. But it's like that's how it is. Like you can get some stuff that's just not made with the right products, and he really definitely concentrates on always delivering shit that works, which that's important.
Very important. Yeah. Shout out to 2.
It's inside baseball with Adam Dunn here,
Hempin.co. Get the DunnDeal.
That's right. Oh shit. Yes, sir.
Yo tips.
So it's just a great product. So go to yoproducts.com, right? Is that what it is, Mark?
Yotip.com.
Yotip.com.
No S on the they got.
But it's Yo
on-
Products LLC on Instagram.
There you go. That's why. But in general, it's like your own personal tip, and you can
I
share.
ended up with 2 tonight.
It's okay as long as you keep.
You're allowed.
They last quite a while. You can use them multiple times, but they're made with birch, which is fast growing and easy to replace, so it's not a big deal. But in general, they're really cool. You get 4 per pack, and you might not think it's a big deal because you're like, yeah, whatever, it's just a tip. But at the end of the day, it's like I'll take a joint that doesn't even smoke that good, put it in there, and it'll be like, I'm smoking great now because it's got a little bit of space between where the joint is and where the actual. And just simple shit. But it's like, oh well, if it's gonna be better, why the fuck not?
Yeah, good airflow, and I
Doesn't
actually
get all
found
wet
out
and
about
soggy.
it on the
Doesn't get
show.
all wet and soggy.
My daughter.
No.
Yeah, they're great.
And they have
Well,
they have the program set up right now. So if you're a company and you want to have your name branded on it and hand them out as tchotchkes at
right.
conferences, they're ready for you.
Yeah, and the thing is,
awesome.
if I think the guys who made it, super good brother, 2 brothers. One is actually got a C4. He's paralyzed from the waist down, and he basically was bummed out during COVID because nobody wanted to share joints with him anymore because they were all nervous about COVID. And he was like, man, this sucks. It used to be cool because I could just go hang out and everybody would share joints with me, and now I'm just fucking like sitting by myself smoking. This sucks. You know what I mean? So then he like thought about these as the idea is that everybody has their own, and then you can still share the joint, but you just don't share the fucking tip of the joint. So it made sense. It was like, and it works good because before everybody just rolled them into it or shared the fucking thing. So now you're like, okay.
No, or I have a big weird thing that's. Yeah, it's strange to carry around. I have it on a necklace, and this is much better. Jalen went to a party in Boulder recently.
They have the silicone things that look always nasty.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
You're like
they're bright colors
hanging around your neck. You're like, oh, it's for joy. Well, they had the ones for the bongs.
Yeah, mine is for both. You can use it for both. I'm not trying to look cool. I just don't know where your mouth has been.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me hit your joint.
Definitely at like. Back in the day when people would just go from like table to table and there'd be bong like those are some.
And if you're in a medical only state, you should really go to your dispensary and ask them why aren't they carrying these, because it really is a product everybody should be using.
Yeah, so check them out.
It has medical benefits.
It does.
There you go.
Just can't tell.
That we can't say.
Just don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. Cultured biologics.
Next week we will have Tim here hanging out, being sort of guest host, because I want you guys to, like, we already had people asking about carbon-based nutrients, which I think is now going to. It's like there's always these little shifts in the game, and now it seems like everybody's realizing, like, well, liquid seems to be kind of a scam, and there's a lot of water, and there's a lot of bullshit, and there's a lot of shipping, and it's expensive, and now shipping is actually the most important part of some of these deals because you start thinking, but when you think of also storage and long term, there's tons of benefits. But he's going to be here also to answer any real technical questions, which it's fun to watch because he's such a smart guy, and coming in from the real like corporate sort of minded chemistry side of everything, and then seeing the bullshit side of it all, and he's coming into the cannabis which is his passion already, and then seeing all the bullshit in the industry there too. So it's like very, very clean products. It's like pharmaceutical grade, but plant based. So carbon.
And he's usually good for a giveaway or two.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, he's dropped his prices like 40% recently and just left it. He started as like a weekend sale and then said fuck it, just left it there because he's trying to get it.
That's a great done deal.
Well, that's already a done deal, and it's a done deal if you order direct, so you get that plus a percentage off. So, and he's got all sorts of cool new stuff. He's got this terpene based fungicide that he'll explain, which is pretty dope. And you're like, all right, well, now we're crossing some borders, and he has some other aloe based rooting gel, which is obviously nice to get something in that zone, and then a few other products. He's got some plant vitality and a whole bunch of cool shit. So we'll be hanging out
Cultured Biologics
with him next week. Yes, sir. And
oh my goodness,
the dab logic
fire. Every week we're fighting over the dab logic. Everybody's where is it? Like baby birds waiting for their.
I was already messaging Dave about it last night.
That's actually what he messaged me. He's like,
I know, I saw
I said, I'm sorry, I can't bring bagels today. My oven broke. He's like, I don't care. Just bring dab logic.
You smelled this one?
Exactly. No, I saw that.
That's the Funky Jones.
So you can go to them at two places. You can go to Verde Natural in Denver, or you can go to the Hash House in Boulder. If you place a pre-order online. That's pre-order. You can't go down there, like shop at the store, and get this discount. But if you do it online, enter DunnDeal at checkout, you get 10% off your order. Right? Is it or 15%? Sorry, 15% off.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
go do it.
Their rosin is just something beyond. He starts, Julian, their rosin master, starts thinking about the rosin when he's taking the cut.
Does have the granola too.
And how it's going to be harvested. And just how long it's going to stay. He's really is an artist. So you go to Dab Logic on Instagram, or you go to Verde Natural is the website.
Yep, VerdeNatural.com.
And use the pre-order button. You have to click over, and then you're good.
Boom.
All their stuff is really great.
Turpwipes.com.
Turpwipes.com/DunnDeal.
That's right.
That's the way you get them.
That's the only way to get it.
And you
Turpwipes.com/DunnDeal.
just get the subscription. Just get over it. It's like the one thing it's the one thing you need. It's like, you know, oh, you're gonna need it. You never say, oh, damn,
I
I
think
got
we
an
need
extra
another box too.
Extra box. Oh no.
I just gave you one.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
I thought you might be cleaning it, so.
Nah, it doesn't need to be cleaned for a while.
Bio365. If you are a cultivator, you need to be using their solution, their soil right now. And if you are a commercial cultivator anywhere in the country, all you need to do is reach out to Tim at Bio365, and he will seriously, he'll have a pallet sent to you. He wants your business.
Yeah, and great products, and they have a huge line. But just if you want to build your own, just get that bio all, and you can do your own soil mix. And if you want to go with the other ones, you can try. And obviously, if you're already growing cocoa, there's another switch right there. And hopefully, we'll transition you over to the real side.
There might be a couple of Grateful Dead stores in there too.
Oh, there's definitely some Grateful Dead stores throw in there.
Sure.
Yeah,
Maybe.
If you look deep. Speaking of looking deep,
Numbnuts. I always get the. Numbnutsco.com.
Chat gang.
And you can get their infused CBD peanut butter shipped anywhere in the country. They have almond, cinnamon, regular peanut butter, dog peanut butter, and then just regular peanut butter, not infused. But if you're a medical patient,
I got a dog peanut butter. It's just like the idea of just like yeah, you know, dog peanut butter, like those guys that don't really normally eat peanut butter. When they do, it looks really funny.
Give it to the dogs.
Those guys. Yeah.
If you're a medical patient in Colorado, 1,000 milligram peanut butter is available. Just get your med card and ask your dispensary for Numbnuts THC by name.
Yeah, it's really good.
1,000 milligrams per tablespoon?
No.
No.
That would be extreme. You look at them dreaming over there like, fuck.
Is that how they're going to do it in Texas, right?
I mean, go big or go home.
Go big or go home, right? No, the tub right there on the screen.
Limit. It's not that big.
It's not too big. And
yeah.
Where's the noise, man?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Forgot all about it.
It's all right.
Basically wants to play music.
Co.com. Get the DunnDeal CBD peanut butter shipped to your door.
Oh, now we got.
Here we go.
We're skipping that.
No, skip this until the end.
To the end. We have to do the giveaway. Yes.
Seeds here now.
There we go.
70 plus breeders.
Yep.
Seedsherenow.com.
I reached out to James today, but I couldn't get through. I could not get through.
Yeah, shout out to
He
James.
accepts crypto as well.
Yes, sir.
If you find the SHN auction site, that means nobody's complained about any seeds over the past, year? Is that how it works?
Yeah, the vault is sweet.
Or they're just random things that just magically had somewhere popped up. But yeah, for the most part, like if it made it that far, there probably wasn't any callbacks or anything because it's just now it needs to move on. Time to move on. But you find some cool shit there for sure. There you can't get a DunnDeal though. Only on the true sales. But yeah, check them out. And
tons of breeders.
I think it's great. He's still got Sonny up there.
Yeah, Sonny still lives. He lives on in infamy. But yeah, check them out. And we'll have James on the show very soon again. That's why I was giving him a call today. I said, like, what's up? What we got? What's going on? It's always something new.
There you are.
There he is. Oh, look,
Twice.
There we are.
Here we are again.
Of course, and here we are again. So if you want to check out the website, which is the DunnShow.com, you can check out go to merch, the merch button, bruh.
Show merch,
and you can see a whole bunch
Those are
of
so cool.
old designs. We have some of our friends, also artists from Amsterdam, in there, and so check out through there. Support the show.
That's me.
That's
right
Mark. Almost
yeah.
could
with
be
my
Mark.
with my tats.
With his fake tats. No, we have the kid. Where's the kid?
No, I got the henna.
Show me the kid. The kid.
Where is the
that? Could be the kid right there.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's the kid. Oh, there's the kid in the middle.
Yeah, there's the kid.
That's him.
Yeah, he's got the
He's got the
yeah.
I swear, and the
angle.
and the left one too. That would be him.
Yeah, it's
weird.
Okay, I was looking at the one. That
Okay.
yeah.
It's really weird because it's like not the kid, but it.
AdamDunnShow.com.
Could be the kid.
So much.
All
Sorry.
right, here we go. Mark.
Okay. Quick
Oh,
drum
so
roll.
excited.
Odie,
Drum roll,
just
Vinny.
what do we do, Odie? How do you do
All right,
this?
hold on.
Odie, you're going to have to talk.
Hold on, I gotta
Hold on.
This sucks because I only have one computer and I'm gonna dock someone. I know it. Hold on.
Don't do it, bro.
So I know that's what I'm trying not to do, but I'm gonna be slower because
Emails up.
we are calling Max. It looks like.
Okay, Max. If your name's Max, you're listening to the show. You better be.
Well, he won't know for like 20 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Well, he would probably know.
Okay, I don't know.
did
And
you
also,
spell
I don't
the
even.
What?
How do you spell the name?
Max? I don't know.
No, Mids too.
Oh, yeah. Was it a
How
good
did he
spelling?
spell it?
Hold on.
That's what it all bases.
He'll
It's
get
pretty
it.
much everything based on that.
All right, here we go.
Oh, he's
We're calling
ignoring
Max.
us.
All right.
Oh, it's all working. This is good.
It's loud.
Hello,
Are we speaking with Max?
this is Max.
Max, you're on the Adam Dunn Show.
What's going on, Max?
Live.
You're live, Max.
Oh, how cool.
We have to ask you a very important question.
Yeah.
How did you spell Midsteo?
Yeah, what was the...
Oh, I have to.
No, let him tell us.
Oh, gosh, I have to go back.
He doesn't.
Here, I got it. It's right here.
My ass when I was high.
All right, it's MAHIDZ space TAHO.
Love it.
I
Nice.
tried to get as many vowels as I could.
That's it.
Did a great job.
Maximum vowelage. Very good.
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
So so the thing is, we've recently found out that Mateo's overwhelmed. He can't handle it. It's too much. He's like, you got to talk to Susan. Or is it Susan? What's it? Who's it?
About the lights?
Yeah, he said talk to. There's somebody else we have to talk
June.
to. June.
We'll get a light to
We'll
you.
get a light.
We're
We're
gonna
going to
light
get you a light, but we're not. Unfortunately,
Midsteo's done.
He's over. He got toasted. He was like, it was too much for his brain to
Oh,
function. I was like, I think there's like a person out there that I was like, oh my God, Mateo, we got to get this figured out.
Hey, Cheddar Bob.
He got Cheddar Bob. So
You guys need to give me that
Okay.
email.
yeah, we will. We'll get that. Yeah, get that email to Mark, and then we will make it happen.
Yeah, we're gonna get
Don't
that to you.
worry.
That's awesome.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Max.
Right on, man.
Thank you, Max.
Peace out.
I'm feeling fucking zooted.
Yeah, Mateo was too much for his brain.
Mids too.
Yeah, he
So is that
This is
the-
how Mark moves us along. He's like, I gotta get out of here.
So now we could
Nah, I
think
just had to do a bunch of
well,
stuff all in
you
a
know,
row. It's no.
Should we think of new ways to spell buchakis?
No, it's new ways to spell
No.
one of those, whatever you gave me. Yeti.
How about that? No.
No.
There's not many ways to do that.
Buchaki?
We have to think of a new thing.
There's no thinking about anything.
No,
right
we're
now.
still using Midsteo. It just means he's not the person fulfilling the lamp.
You just don't get the satisfaction of knowing that he had to actually do something.
Oh,
Oh, that was it.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like, wow, you got that done. That's
Wait,
pretty.
you thought that by making the word his, that he would have to do more work?
Yeah, he was fulfilling all those.
All he had to really do is hit forward on an email.
Now it's that. Now, of course, that's the deal. But.
Okay.
Oh,
So
your dad Grows is mad at you because you didn't put the Sage Master logo on the website.
What website?
He wants you to put merch for the merch on the.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Then no
You need to get on it, dude.
See?
Like right
You're
now.
talking to HR. HR's right there.
2 months
She's
ago.
right there. She's right there. No,
HR's right here.
okay.
Right.
We're in the right room. You hit the right
Oh yeah.
button at the right time
Today's the
because
day.
we're gonna
Rosin
make-
Dogs is in the wrong time.
Garrett, you going to stick
Rosin
around
Dog's
for
timing
Patreon?
sucks.
Yeah.
Actually. His timing is just, he doesn't get it. He was so good for so long, and now his timing.
He just garbage time.
Don't upset Rosin Dogs. Remember,
Why not?
Because we're going to hit him up for sponsorship for Hippo Hydro.
Oh yeah, of
Just
course.
mentioning Hippo Hydro
Well, actually,
in
there-
New York right now should drive some business down.
Well, actually, no. There's also things going on in New York that will be announced very soon. So he needs to get. We need to get him involved to make it all work, and it's actually his fault anyway.
Well, I
so.
guess we need him.
It's
or
all his
whatever.
fault.
Oh, we need your help then.
No, it's his fault. So
it's his fault.
Oh, it's
yeah,
his
yeah,
fault.
Yeah, the whole reason this is happening is
Even
because of
better.
him. This is all happening because of him.
Okay.
He created this. He doesn't even know. He's created a monster.
The hell was that?
Yeah.
Sounded like a shotgun.
Rosin Dogs just
What the
created a
hell?
monster.
Scared the fuck out of me.
Now he's scared. Now he's scared. Mrs. Rosin
that
Dogs
out?
twisted. So,
All right.
all right.
Is this a cartel party?
Okay. Are we going to Patreon?
We are going to go into Patreon.
Okay. Well,
Patreon.
I'm going to paste the Patreon link into the chats.
That's right. So if you're not a Patreon member, you need to
do it now.
Become a Patreon
if you want to hang
member
out with
today.
us for another hour, because we're going to
Come hang out.
We have a full room. So
You know, it's gonna be
way
way
do have a
cool.
full room.
We might even be flipping.
Be the perfect time to play the Dave's on Mushrooms.
I'm stuck here, so you might as well come join me.
Oh, and Garrett's going to be here next 2 weeks. We're going to see you in 2 weeks.
Suck!
That's pretty cool. Mark is always trying to get out. What do you have going?
It's
I'm
already
talking to
in
Garrett
there.
over here. I'm talking to Garrett.
Oh.
You're here in 2 weeks, right, Garrett?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm flying in on, I think, like the 18th.
Okay, that's good.
So, yeah.
Get acclimated to the altitude.
Drink lots of water.
Drink lots of water. Chill out.
Where are you
Dave's going to be
staying at?
telling you what to do the whole time when you get
Oh,
here. Don't worry.
Denver.
The moment you land, he will tell you what to drink, when to drink it. Yep.
Hopefully his oven's
where
fixed.
okay, his oven. Yeah, he'll tell you about his oven being broken. We're gonna hear all this.
No, the elements.
The elements.
Oh, it's not the oven, just the element.
Elements.
Just
Not
crawl
the
in the
oven.
back of the oven. It's all the way in the back. You got to get all the way in there.
He knows.
See you on Patreon in a few minutes.
I'll see you guys on Patreon. But yeah,
Before
if
we go to Patreon, I wanted to, without doxing anybody, I wanted to give a shout out to RW from Austin who bought some mushroom kits. Come out to the mushroom conference in Austin tomorrow. I'll get you a mushroom drink or something.
No, that's awesome.
I'll give
That's
some.
nice.
I don't know, there's no after party plan, but I'm gonna be there. Like,
you are the after party.
there's an after party.
Yeah,
you're the guy.
at a mushroom gathering. Come on.
There's an
In
after
Austin,
party.
Texas.
Austin, there's a party after party.
Maybe.
Something's gonna happen.
I would imagine so.
Okay.
But yeah,
see
you
if
can
you-
hang out, Garrett. We're just here. We're gonna go offline for about 10 minutes, and then we're back on. But you can chill.
Same
if you
Zoom
want.
link.
Same Zoom link if you want. You can come in, go out. Up to you, man.
Yeah. I still have some prep work to do for tomorrow, but yeah, I can hang out for a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Dig it.
Cool. Like I said, yeah, we're taking 10 off though, so we'll see you guys soon.
See ya.
And shout out to my beautiful wife Cece, who's just right here in the studio, and PDX Amazing, who's at home.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
and a shout out to Kyle for coming through from Exotics, and also obviously NFTs.
Well, if you want a 420 cake, I don't think we can show the video because we'll probably get flagged for that video. But can we show that video?
Hold on, I'm
Why would I
working
say
on
you?
it.
Why
I
you gonna get
didn't know.
flagged?
I was ready to go to the outro.
Yeah, but I
wait,
sent you the
Sean,
video earlier and you didn't put it up, and I figured.
Cakey wait.
Because there was no. Here, it's coming.
Here it
So
comes.
you can send an email
It's coming.
to info@arttoeatcakes.com, and it's $420 for like a buddy cake, a bud cake. No THC. No, don't ask her. She's not going to do that.
You can spray it
Those are
with some
awesome.
D8. And
Okay,
poison
or you can go
everybody.
to arttoeatcakes.com.
No, don't do that.
What is it? One more time.
Art, A-R-T, the number 2, eat cakes. You got to have the wwws. Art2eatcakes.com.
Those are beautiful.
It's almost
Do
like
it.
R2D2, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
So
you can only
close.
do like 3 more of these bud cakes. So if you want one, you got to order them today.
Do it now.
Look at the pressure you put on everybody.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Get-
that's all.
get
You got to
the-
order it now, or
very nice.
nothing will happen.
Those look cool.
It's called a force majeure.
Did you do you should have a timer that just clicks down and says,
We will have
"You
that
got
soon.
43
don't you
seconds
worry.
to order this cake, or else no one's getting
43 seconds, we can go to Patreon.
No, we're done.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hits.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
Want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sensimilla.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it